Visions of you.
Half past 9 and I can't see straight. I'm hoping that I'll make it tomorrow, but right now I can't feel my face.
Why do I have to stay here on the ground? It's overrated. The cityscape escapes you with a sound. It's delineated. I waited at the station for an hour, but I won't make it. You take off on an uptap by the tower, and you overtake it. Every moment I see you on the rise, you're drawn across the sky. Now that ink has dried, and I can't tell you why. Oh, Mimi, can you tell me there's an issue? I've seen it clouded all around you. Why can't you tell me there's an issue you've seen before? Oh, Mimi, can you tell me there's an issue? I've seen it clouded all around you. Why can't you tell me there's an issue you've seen before? And I can't tell you why. Oh, I can't tell you why. Why you have to stay here on the ground? It's overrated. The cityscape parades you with a sound. It's delineated. No one here has even learned your name, but they all claim that they saw you land and land to do the same, but they won't make it. Every moment I see you on the rise, you're drawn across the sky. Now that ink has dried, and I can't tell you why. Oh, Mimi, can you tell me there's an issue? I've seen it clouded all around you. Why can't you tell me there's an issue you've seen before? Oh, Mimi, can you tell me there's an issue? I've seen it clouded all around you. Why can't you tell me there's an issue you've seen before? And I can't tell you why. Tell me there's an issue. I've seen it clouded all around you. Why can't you tell me there's an issue you've seen before? Oh, Mimi, can you tell me there's an issue? I've seen it clouded all around you. Why can't you tell me there's an issue you've seen before? And I can't tell you why. I can't tell you why.
I'll be staying outside, yeah, so I don't think about life, yeah. Can you send me a light? 'Cause I can't take it, I can't take it. You got me feeling alright, yeah. Every day by your side, yeah. Can you send me a light? 'Cause I can't take it, I can't take it. I don't wanna think about it every day. You know that you kinda wanna feel the same way. So much time, you just had to pretend. I've been so lost, I just wanna run away. Run away right now. I gotta go, I'm wasting my attention. You've been on my mind, I could touch the sky. Starlight, I'll be running up and down, trying to think about you all the time. I don't really.
This live stream is sponsored by SCL, an all-in-one CS2 training platform with a practice server, 2D viewer, and unique training modes like Defense Mode. Defend sites against bot executes that get harder every round. And Trade Fire, a pre-fire mode where enemies actually try to trade you. You could run every mode in co-op and track your progress and stats across all your training. Plus, you get an advanced 2D demo viewer. Use code Crossfire40 for 40% off your first month. That's under $3.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Crossfire Season 5, and it is semi-final time. We have reached the business end of the tournament, and there is no more room for second chances. One team will move on, take on the defending champions in Regain, and the other sees their tournament run come to an end. Tonight, it's Overtake Sector taking on Club 333 in a matchup where every round, every clutch, and every decision could be the difference between playing for that championship or packing your bags and going home. The pressure's at its highest, the margins are razor thin, and this is where players can break out into the spotlights and claim a name for themselves. Floofies, whether it's been the big plays, the cold-blooded clutches, or momentum swings, we have seen it all throughout Season 5 up to this point, and the stakes have never been higher.
Yeah, I mean, so far I'm really enjoying this season, getting a chance to see some new teams, new faces in the Crossfire scene. Last night we got to see Raised by Pixels. They were a team that I think a lot of people, including myself, kind of underestimated. They're going to be falling to that third and fourth place decider that is happening alongside our finals. Outside of that, Overtake Sector themselves are kind of a new face. They're not a new face to North American Counter-Strike if you've been paying attention for the last couple of years, but the players themselves new to this league.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, the core, or I shouldn't even say core, but the roster of Lircy, Sacrifice, Jason, and Intra have been playing together for a while, and Umar being that most recent addition feels like a great player to actually round off this ex-Party Astronauts, ex-Fluffy Aimers lineup. But I think that their run up to this point has been even more impressive than the names on the roster themselves. I mean, they went 2-1 versus Iowa Stormboar, 2-1 versus the Wanted Goons to thrust themselves into the semifinals, and they were completely flawless in Group A, which also featured Regain.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the couple of rosters that these players have been on in the past, and Fluffy Aimers were a team that played alongside teams like Wildcard and M80, so they are definitely a team that has a lot of experience together. Obviously, this team is a little bit different than the end of Fluffy Aimers, a little bit different than the end of Party Astronauts, but I think it's lost no small amount of firepower, especially bringing in Umar to that Fluffy Aimers core. Eye test wise, he's been an absolutely amazing opper. And especially with the maps that Overtake like to play, they like to play your Mirages, they like to play your Dust 2s, and they like to give Umar as many opportunities as he can to really shine. And it's been working out extremely well for them.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And for Club 333, we see the roster of Secret Agent, Cobra, Morrow, Mason, and Fortailor. But we have the pick and bans, Floofies, and right off the rip, I mean, I think that Inferno being taken by Club 333 isn't necessarily a surprise. I think Mirage being the pick for Overtake Sector doesn't surprise me at all, but I think the decider of Dust 2 is really where it gets kind of interesting, because both of these teams have been proficient, whether it's with the aim duels, with the strategy that's required on a map like Dust 2, but I'm almost wondering as to why neither of the teams went to a map that neither one of them have an actual real history on, like an Overpass, like a Nuke, which were both banned in the first round, because I feel like both of these teams are very proficient across all three of these maps.
Yeah, I think that you really nailed it on the head. These teams have a lot of crossover in terms of maps, and I think Inferno being that pickup for Club 333 is going to be a really scary thing for Overtake. And you go back to what maps these teams are picking, and the fact that Ancient didn't get floated through is almost the bigger surprise than anything. Both teams, neither of them likes Nuke, neither of them plays Overpass. Just within the last few months, they just don't even have it on their radar whatsoever. So I think it'll be interesting to see how they blossom into the new map pool, but focusing on the here and now, do you want to do predictions? Because I have mine in my head.
So, at heart, what my heart is trying to tell me is that it should be a all 3 map affair. I am definitely expecting the experience of Overtake Sector, and I say experience lightly because, you know, they're a recent addition after a brief hiatus, but still the well-tenured roster or resume of this roster, I think, is definitely one to be competing with, and so I think I'm going to have to lean into a 2-1 for Overtake Sector.
I'm feeling the same. I think that we're really going to get a nice preview for how the rest of the series is going to go on Inferno. It's going to be Club 3. Okay. Club 333 has been one of those rosters that I fumble over a lot. I've just been calling them clubs. So we will go to Club's map pick of Inferno starting us off. And I think if they don't really set the server on fire, then we're going to have a short night.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think the key for Overtake Sector is to really dictate the pace throughout the series. I mean, especially in map number 1. I think they really need to prioritize the team play rather than any heroic plays. And that's something that I feel like they're very well versed at, is taking a reserved approach to the round and actually playing to win rather than playing to lose. And then for Club 333, it feels like kind of the opposite. It feels like they need to be a little bit resilient throughout this series, and that they need to try and pressure Overtake into making mistakes that they don't actually want to make, whether that's with aggressive CT side setups or just trying to withhold information on the T side. But map number 1, Luffy's Inferno, the pick of Club 333, and I think that this map pick leans ever so slightly into their own favor, but I still, like I said, feel like there's a lot of questions left in the air, especially with the experience that Overtake do have.
I do want to call something out real quick here as we're waiting for the tech pause to get finished up. Is Club 333 are playing with 2 subs tonight, and one of them is one that I think a lot of North American fans of the Tier 2 and Tier 3 scene are going to recognize. Marky, in their most recent game, had, I think, a 1.56 rating. Granted, it was only over 1 map. He only played the first map, but they've got Mason and Marky instead of Fortaler and Laxi. And in the green room, I was looking at Laxi to be Club's big win condition. So without him, I do wonder what kind of a power vacuum will be left and who will be first to fill it.
Yeah, I think that Marky is one of the players that really has a good deal of experience, at least in terms of the general playstyle of Counter-Strike, and I say general playstyle, but I more so mean that higher level general playstyle. So I feel like it'll be easy for him to slot into this lineup, especially on a map like Inferno, where the roles are very clear cut and dry. But in terms of moving further into the map, that's where some of those mid-round communications start to come in on Mirage, on Dust 2, and whether it's communication of information or just trying to get early rotations or even just requesting utility, it feels like that might be where they kind of trip over themselves. But I'm still expecting a high level and really elegant style of Counter-Strike to come out of Club 333.
Yeah, and I mean, you really touched on it there with the utility, especially on a map like Inferno, where your site executes can be such a make or break part on how you're going to win, much less play the map. Especially if you're just, you know, the banana pushes are kind of endemic to how you're going to play that map. And if you are slow on the execute, that's going to give enough time for the rotation that things can start to get really scary on that T side really fast.
Yeah, and that kind of comes down to what I was saying about needing to force errors on the side of Overtake, is trying to get in their face, play a little bit of that brash style of Counter-Strike, but I still nonetheless think that even if Club 333 take an aggressive approach and try to play that in-your-face style, they're still going to have some sort of finesse to it, whether it's with the movement, whether it's with the firepower, or even some of the creative setups they do have. But it's all about using that brash style of Counter-Strike to really overcome the experience of Overtake. So I think that is going to be the key for that Club 333 lineup. But while we're waiting on some tech issues to be finalized, we're going to send it to a short break. So don't go anywhere. We've got map number 1 of Inferno coming at you right after this.
make up something, you know I try to pray for you. Even when we're touching, you always make a fuss. Okay, I'm pushing, don't test my patience. I'm trying to pace it. You kept me waiting, I try to pray for you. I try to pray for you. Try to play for you. I try to play for you, for you, for you. I try to play for you, for you. I try to play for you. For you, even when there's nothing, you always make up something. You know I try to pray for you. Even when we're touching, you always make a fuss. Okay, I'm pushing, don't test my patience. I'm trying to pace it. You kept me waiting, I try to pray for you. Okay, I'm pacing. It cannot wait 'cause you test my patience. I try to pray for you, for you, for you. I try to pray for you. Try to pray for you. I try to pray for you. I try to pray for you. For you. For you. I try to pray for you. I pray for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, after a short break, we have made it back, and I believe the tech issues are resolved, and Floofies, yes, indeed, they are. We have map number 1 between Overtake Sector and Club 333. That map pick of Inferno from Club 333, and the pistol round is going to lead with a lot of utility on Secret Agent's belt, but he does take a hefty amount of grenade damage early on, so some of that utility might need to get dispersed.
Yeah, and I mean, the first thing I saw was, look at how far up Cobra got up Banana before anyone really challenged. Overtaker really taking this one pretty carefully for the pistol round. So Club 333 going to be given tons of space early on, but not doing a whole heck of a lot with it. I do like this boost for Cobra just to see if somebody wants to stick a toe out just a little bit too far. But other than that, this is mostly going to be a fake on Banana. We get that lovely overhead cam as well.
Yeah, that HE grenade gonna do a chunk to Learcy. Maybe even be his demise. But there's that HE grenade. As that HE grenade goes flying, Learcy will hit the floor. defensive smoke has been dropped towards this B bomb site. Sacrifice is thinking about the rotation back towards B, but it's already going to be prompted back to A. It's going to be a full-on A hit. The pistols are singing out. Intra's good for one, but Marky has pulled off the Alamo on his own. The shots are being exchanged through the moto smoke, and to no avail, but still the bomb put down. The numbers punched in. 35 seconds left on that bomb timer, and there's already a flank coming in from Cobra.
Yeah, I mean, this seems like almost a fake toward the B-bomb site. Worked out perfectly for Clubs. Managed to pull all the defenders away, and now with only half that bomb already ticked down, 2 versus 3, up 3-3-3. They've been pretty weakened up, but the final shots to clean them off the server don't connect. It's Marky and Mason to finish off Overtake, and the pistol round secured for Clubs.
Yeah, and we're kind of touching on how Marky has the possibility to be a weak point in this Club 333 roster, but I think that starting hot on the pistol round like that is a definite good sign, because I feel like Club 333 is also a team that relies heavily on the momentum, so I think we might be off to the running already. You know, I've thought that in the past, Floofies, but I've seen some crazy things pulled off. I don't think it'll come to fruition here in this round 2, but still, Intra with the Deagle, immediately going to be nullified. A bomb site secured for 333, but still no rotations from Overtake just yet. They're just waiting for a lone survivor to try and walk into this B bomb site.
When they I like the discipline from Club 333 to not send someone up super early on when they realize that they've only spotted 2 players out, realizing that by process of elimination, there must be a stack somewhere on the map. And now bringing the rest of the team over to these USPs. Mason does get tagged up, and Umar going to finish off the kill, but it's really going to be just Morrow chewing through these final players and earning a nice $1,200 on the MAC-10.
Yeah, that MAC-10 being a money-making machine is what I like to call it, but round 3, we'll see Overtake vie for their first round on the board. And they do have rifles, but the utility is a little bit lackluster. I'd like to see maybe Umar drop the M4 for some more reporting utility, whether it's flashbangs, whether there's the Molotovs. And already with 1 minute and 45 left, we see the top banana smoke thrown. So maybe a possible contest from Overtake, which they have car control for the time being, but I don't think that this smoke alone is going to prevent 333 from finding space up banana.
No, and I mean, there's still plenty of time left in the round. It's a good way to at least fly out the round, see if maybe you can farm some information. But, oh, this is actually really interesting. Cobra getting mollied out in Cubby. Meanwhile, Intra going to chew part Secret Agent. The man advantage for Overtake, not something they've had so far this game. Learcy up close and personal to just flatten Cobra. And the other side of the map, Club's going to be cut down to just 2 players left. And 5 on Overtake. Ooh. Jason with the FAMAS is just going to pick apart Morrow 1 damage at a time and leave this one to Mason.
Yeah, 1v5. This being a bonus round for 3 doesn't make it too deceitful, but Mason's still trying to chunk away. 20 HP left. Will be finished off by the M4A1S of Intra. And Overtake turned the donut into the breadstick early on. And this is where I was kind of touching on. It feels like this map, or the series in general, is going to be dictated by the pace changes that are happening across the map. Whether it's Overtake showing that aggressive style towards banana, or even Club 333 just trying to all-out rush up towards car and take the B site with some force. But I'll be interested to see the adjustment that comes in from Club 333 based on the early information they've discovered.
I like that flash that we just got to see. Somebody threw it, and Cobra is just like, I will stare at this. It's kind of amusing, but... Alright, so what's the plan here for round number 4? Starting things with a default for Clubs. The weaponry not really favoring them, but not going to matter too much as Mason has already found purchase with the Tech 9, going to be traded out, so at least leaving things even Steven, and that Molotov instantly quenched. Umar just phasing this smoke. This could be so painful for clubs. They start to walk up mid, but he backs away into short.
It's interesting because based on that smoke that Umar threw, I believe there's an inclination from Overtake that Club 333 haven't even made their way up the site. Sacrifice is here to catch the moto swing, but he's a little bit too late behind the gun. Able to activate and find 2 headshots. Doesn't even need his teammate to act as the bait. Morrow finds an activation out of apartments, but it's short-lived as Jason cleans him up for his life. We're tied up at 2-2.
Yeah, and this is something that you got to worry about for Club 333 is Overtake starting to heat up. They can be a really streaky team, as I think you mentioned. And, I mean, both teams can be very stringy as they start to get heated. And with Overtake taking a massive money advantage, now 2 rounds in a row, lots of players surviving. Umar even going with the MP7 to try and farm up some SMG kills.
Yeah, I think that MP7 is a wise purchase, especially if Umar's trying to get on the AWP, because if he's able to find himself in position to find conversions with it, that's a lot of money that's being injected into that back pocket. Looks like Club 333, though, are going to try and bust down the doorstep of this B-bomb site. Sacrifice still tucked towards the sandbags, finds an activation off the back of a flashbang from Intra, but everyone goes 1 for 1. It's Morrow and Secret Agent. All they have is upgraded pistols. And Morrow is playing hall monitor towards bottom mid, waiting for any aggressive smokes through that bottom banana smoke. And Secret Agent going to be given the freedom to walk up towards brackets, but for how long he gets to actually live comes the next question.
Well, he is about to walk right into Umar over by long, so quick guillotine on the head, leaves this one down to Morrow. And again, as we already touched on, money made for the MP7, sacrifice to finish the job, 3-2 Overtake. And, well, now we get to see the op brought out more than likely for Overtake as well. Plenty of money left in the pockets of Umar and Learsea, and as Inferno can be kind of an unfriendly map for the op on T side, figure Umar is going to try and get his licks in here on CT side before they swap.
And I'll be interested to see where Umar actually positions this AWP. I feel like the A-bomb site feels like a default decision, but based on where Umar is looking at the current point in time, I think it might be towards car. Because going for that peek from brackets and then slowly staggering yourself backwards into CT through arches, I think is a little bit of an overlooked rotational-based op play. I mean, allows you to play around the utility perfectly. Club 333 at the same time haven't put a lot of pressure towards brackets either. It feels like a lot of their main focus has been towards banana, so that will be the immediate direction that Umar tries to lead.
I mean, every opper is going to look toward that play where there's somebody that got the collet onto 5 players on banana and be like, I gotta try it. I gotta gamble it, see if it works. If it doesn't, I back away. And speaking of backing away, Overtake repelled Club 333, but trades out of Secret Agent and Cobra will keep them in the running for this one. Intra, I love this spot that he's gotten into. Drops the bomb off of Secret Agent on T-steps, and that's going to leave Club's a very awkward spot. Sacrifice trying to find control for Arch, but will be tagged down. Ooh, That's not a great spot to be for Intra. It's funny, we were highlighting the op, and Umar has gone down in this one with 0 impact. 50 seconds remaining, and Cobra just going to hustle his way over to the B-bomb site, all the way safe through T-spawn.
Yeah, I feel like there's an opportunity for Learsea to come back into this one. Just has to get a head up on this rotation. You can see him going for a brackets clear right now. That'll be a key piece of this information to actually get the rotate underway. Has a Molotov, HE grenade, and 2 flashbangs to buy some sort of space, but as those numbers do get punched in, 25 seconds is turned into 40, and Learsea realizes that he has picked the wrong site. It's going to be a fast play through banana. Cobra given optimal time to really burrow himself into church. But Learsea has the element of surprise. It feels like Cobra might not expect this until it's too late.
Yeah, but you don't have a whole lot of time to really play careful and clear the site. And B-side Inferno is just so many things you have to clear. So Learcy, he does have to toss out that Molotov early on, and now Cobra knows. But there's no time left. Already past 5 seconds, everybody runs away, and it's going to be Clubs tying things up at 3. All threes all the way down.
Yeah. 3 on the scoreline for both teams. Club 333 at 3, Overtake at 3, Cobra at 3 kills, but does have that AWP in hand, so an opportunity for him to find impact that Umar was not able to find in round 6, but Umar as well has picked up that op once more. Immediately the decision does come, though, to have Umar be a little bit more of a foundational pillar back towards this A bomb site. He's going to go for the peek towards alt mid. If he doesn't spot anything, presumably going to drop back into arches, but Umar is caught off guard, and Marky's able to punish. Space has been bought towards brackets. Marky's not going to put the pedal to the metal just yet, waiting for a reswing, and it does come from Jason, but still, no additional pressure being applied allows Jason to refocus his gaze back towards apartments where only one player remains, and that's going to be Morrow, but he is quite far back. It feels like they're just waiting for some sort of push. Is Club 3.
Yeah, it looks like Marky is slipping into the shoes of Laxi fairly well. One of the things that you'll see a lot of players, or you'll hear a lot of players say about Laxi is he is your op-seeking missile. He might not get any other kills, but he's going to make sure that op has fear in their heart. And he's already managed to do exactly that versus Umar. Now the question is, where do they go from here? 45 seconds, and Clubs haven't really advanced toward either site decisively. Still 3 players sitting in mid with the bomb being rotated back around. And if Overtake over-rotate, this could be a little bit fishy.
Yeah, Overtake, like you mentioned, already on this rotation towards the B bomb site. The fake smoke that was dropped towards CT is going to cause an overzealous rotate, but still 20 seconds left on the clock, and Club 333 have found their way into this A bomb site. Learcy definitely hearing all of the shots and the utility being dispersed is going to make the communication, but I feel like Overtake aren't even going to put themselves in a situation where they can pull off this retake. They're just going to cut their losses, save what they have to go into the next round, and I feel like it's a wise decision. But no one has the op from Umar, so it's free for the taking if Club 333 want to actually run the double op, but on the T side of Inferno, it doesn't feel like that's the proper decision.
Yeah, and I mean, I do agree with the save going into a 2-round loss. They're not going to have massive amounts of money to buy for a lot of players, so keeping hold of those 4 rifles, giving themselves enough money to rebuy that op for Umar again. He hasn't had the expected amount of firepower with it so far this game, and you do kind of just wander past halfway through the first half and go, well, when are we going to get to see that op?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it feels like they're prioritizing it. I mean, this is the 3rd round in a row where Umar hasn't had much impact with the AWP, or 2nd round in a row, excuse me, and he's received the gift once more. So maybe that gift keeps on giving, but for the time being, Umar's not getting much out of it. So maybe just thrown down the drain. But Club 333 do actually pick up the double op, and so Secret Agent has an opportunity to throw the breadstick into more, but he'll have to plant that seed first. Early smoke towards Banana from Overtake sector off spawn, and a heavy volley of utility towards A. I'm liking the Club 333 structure of the A bomb site so far. It feels like they apply a lot of pressure towards long haul, don't necessarily make any advances towards brackets, and force rotations back towards B from Overtake. And already, Cobra is sitting down Umar. Trade happens on the other side of the map thanks to a double HE grenade onto Mason's head. But still, Jason waits in the boiler, able to separate the head from the shoulders. Intra's got his back. The Molotov forces Cobra into a swing that he does not want to make. It's all Jason, but instead of the machete, it's the AK-47. And Secret Agent, he has the AWP, but it's one hell of an investment from Club 333 to really put at risk.
Yeah, I mean, you've already taken down Umar again. First player dead in the round, but this time Overtake really supporting his position, not leaving him to go down empty-handed, but making sure that they can trade him out and not only trade, but profit off of it. 1 for 4 is a heck of a an exchange. One thing I would like to point out for clubs is, I mean, we've been seeing them go A site a lot. They are trying to really condition this to give themselves every possible advantage. But I mean, in the last round where the fake pulled Overtake away, I think that was the kind of the last straw, right? They're not going anywhere this time.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, the aggression into apartments from Overtake has been there. It just hasn't found success up until now. So, off the back of that success, they will see a round win. We're going to be tied up at 4-all going into round number 9. And it leaves me with a question of how Club 333 are actually going to adjust on their T side to deal with this aggression, whether it's just all out, taking it back towards Banana, and really playing that brash style of Counter-Strike I had mentioned in the pre-show, but I still think this is where the resilience comes in.
Well, and I mean, the other thing is the money for clubs has been interesting, right? They won the pistol and the force, but everything in the follow-up has been so... Oh, dear. That's a deletion for Secret Agent right off the bat. Sacrifice has had a hot hand these past few rounds, and he'll have to sit this one out. But... Sorry, I was about to say that it has looked a little bit tenuous for the side of clubs, but with that kind of early pick, maybe I should change my tune.
Yeah, and it's a little bit interesting as well, because you can see that Overtake are already fortifying this A bomb site. No avail, though. Brackets re-clear will happen. Intra should start making his way back towards the B bomb site, but the defensive smoke is not going to dissuade Club 333 from hitting this site whatsoever. It's just going to give them more time to line up utility and more time to prep Marquis to offer himself up on the chopping block. But whether or not the cleaver is going to swing becomes the next question. Molotov for Nubox lined up. CT smoke as well. And I believe Secret Agent is throwing something else, but Marquis on the peak is able to convert the first kill, make it a double as he rips Learcy's head off. And Club 333 have free access to this bomb site. And considering that Overtake have the AWP into Umar's hands, I don't feel like they're actually going to go for this. I feel like it's going to be a game of actually saving this AWP and making sure you have the finances to contest against a full bought-up Club 333.
I mean, and I think it's correct for Overtake to save, and I can't even really blame them for that setup. They had 2 and 2, and when clubs have been hitting that A bomb site over and over again, there's only been 1 B plant so far in 8 rounds. This is the second one. Then, I mean, you can't really assume that it's going to go either site. There's just not enough information, and so... I mean, it's a bitter pill to swallow for Overtake. Oh, could be worse, but Umar ready for the peak from Morrow. Really, though, I would love to see Overtake seek to shut down Marquis, because dude's been cracking open these sites time and time again, and they don't really have a good answer to him.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think that some of this nuisance that Marquis has been for Overtake could be quelled by Umar getting a little bit more aggressive with the AWP towards alt mid, but I still think it's a risk that Overtake aren't necessarily comfortable with taking, especially when Umar hasn't been all that there with the op. I mean, it just feels like an understandable decision. There's a gunfight happening towards Banana in the meantime, though, and Learcy's able to get away with highway robbery as he takes 2 kills for himself. And Club 333 are immediately put onto the back seat. Umar's able to finally have some sort of impact, and now both pieces are separated.
Well, clubs change up the pace right into the grinder as Overtake. I mean, I don't even know if that's not being prepared. I think that's just right place, right time for Learcy. Oh, yeah. Marquis now forced away. Oh, he's being spammed through the window as well. They're tracking him through apartments. They're not giving him a single ounce of space. He's still going to delete Intra from the server, but Jason will make sure that that's all he will find.
And I felt really good about that Learcy peak. I feel like there was a certain level of Overtake wanting to actually deny the space from Club 333, because in the prior rounds, Overtake have been playing relatively passive towards Banana. They haven't gone for any sort of push down Banana. It's just been a little bit of a proxy from sandbags and with some utility over the top of car to really try and dissuade Club Triple Three. But I think Overtake are finally realizing that it's not just going to be the fake presence that actually prevents them from entering into car. So a great change up from them. It's going to be full on a hit from the looks of it from Club Triple Three, but they still have a lot of firepower to get through, and this is Umar's time to shine.
It sure is, as they charge out from apartments. A quick trade from the AWP of Umar, but the second shot misses. All allow Mason to run him over, and Clubs have already overtaken Overtake on this A-bomb site. Bomb down, and it's just Learcy remaining. 1 versus 3 on the AK. Spotted over by Library. Now, Clubs, they get to reconfigure, reposition, and there's not going to be any space for Learcy to retake this. But he does seem keen on at least sticking around, at least until I say that, and he backs away.
Yeah, not wanting to risk that AK-47. I say it time and time again, but that AK is such a powerful weapon to have on the CT side, so in a situation like this, it doesn't feel too terrible to save, but still, the AWP lingers in Secret Agent's hand, hasn't been able to convert much with it, but still a constant threat that Overtake have to be conscious of.
I mean, it's just good that the guy called Secret Agent is not 007 right now. He's definitely not been very potent on this T side. I wonder if part of that is due to holding on to the AWP when it's not his weapon of choice, but it is finally tossed over to Cobra, and I think that means that the rest of Clubs can draw a little bit of an extra breath as this very back and forth first half be coming to a conclusion.
Yeah, I think the key piece of this is that Umar doesn't have any utility whatsoever. He's also on a glass cannon for that AWP. Jason has been found out. Gonna go for the wide swing on a marquee, but not gonna suffer any sort of glamorous fate. Gonna be the demise instead. Double setup towards arch side as well allows Overtake to prod for information without risking their lives too much, but considering that marquee's being a thorn in the side towards apartments, it gives them a little bit of an extra layer of thought that they actually have to put into this A-side defense. A flashbang over the top brackets, smoke towards arches as well, but at the same time, Overtake completely dissuading this push towards B.
Yeah, and I mean, already being a man down on this round, and Umar again going to fall tomorrow. This is going to get scary in a hurry. Intra, the spray down betrays him to Clubs. They'll have this A-bomb site completely available to them, and with just a FAMAS in the hands of Sacrifice and Learcy's AK already hitting the ground, there's going to be a 7-5. The only question is, can Sacrifice farm up a few stats, and he's only going to get the one.
Yeah, and this is a great start to this series if you're Club Triple Three. I talked about the momentum being a major point of contention for this roster. But in terms of their history on Inferno, it feels like that they don't necessarily struggle too much. We saw them put up a 13-8 against Beyond Limits. We also saw them put up a 13-6 against Olympus. And so I think that this map is one that they're well versed in. It's just a matter of actually getting their footing, and it feels like they've done that up to now. But now the slate is wiped clean, and they have to replicate what once was a good side or good T side on their CT side. And look at the volley of utility that Secret Agent has.
He's got a full set. He's all ready to go. Sitting over there on the B-bomb site with 2 of his comrades. But we're going to start things off with Mason. Rips the head right off of Intra. And, I mean, dualies and hulls is information. I wouldn't call it the best information, but enough for Overtake to at least start trying to get the ball rolling in Banana. But the smoke right in their face will look to not dissuade them, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like one of the similar rounds that Club Triple Three had, where they threw this block smoke, but it allowed Club Triple Three to actually set up for the utility, and Overtake are trying to take advantage of the same thing. But little do they know, the rotations have been made for Club Triple Three. The dual Berettas from Morrow chirp away and are able to convert a kill, but Marky's got uncleared on the boost, and it's a swift cleanup from Triple Three as they find an 8-5 scoreline and are looking to run away with this, especially with that hot of a start on the CT side.
Yeah, I mean, now I'm starting to wonder, we haven't gotten to see Marky on either a tier 2 or a tier 1 team. And, you know, while a lot of the focus for Latin American Counter-Strike kind of rests on the shoulders of Mulbs at this point, you know, being the M80 to G2 to Liquid player, I feel like Marky's still got something to give, and he's just hoping for his chance.
Yeah, I mean,
See if this is it.
I feel like Marky can have some impact. It's just a matter of whether or not he's able to find himself in positions to be able to do so, and whether or not he has the supporting pieces behind him. I mean, in the last half, it definitely felt that way early on. We saw him start to fade away slowly, but still, impact has been made. It's going to be intro with the Desert Eagle, trying to have as much impact as he can, and he's found 3 kills. So, an opportunity for him to wrangle this one back under control, but the bottom banana smoke is going to deter him away from the B bomb site. It's a foot race towards A, and Intra's trying to be silent about this rotation. His secret agent could be right around the corner, but he starts to run around. Intra has the Desert Eagle, 5 HP, only needs to hit 1 shot, but he pulls out the bomb at the wrong moment. Although not finding the round, it's a injection of cash into the back pocket, but Club 333, 1 away from double digits.
Yeah, but Overtake, taking away all ones, making them rebuy. Now, a real, very good chance for Overtake. If they can secure 1, it would be a nice start to a snowball that could bring them back to even. Now, and it is T-side Inferno, so not the easiest thing in the world, and the weaponry is, well, 4 rifles is good.
I think Jason being on the MAC-10 as well opens him up to really be sent in as a sacrifice, no pun intended, but still will upgrade to that AK-47 surely, right? There it is. Picks it up. Block smoke towards far. Club 333 not getting rotations on just yet, which feels a little bit interesting, especially considering the volley of utility that's been thrown over the top. Jason instead is going to try and spearhead this for the Overtake lineup, but Learsey has to trade him out. Secret Agent still tucked towards Coffin, has an opportunity to activate, especially when that Molotov is short, but Umar still goes for the hard clear. It's a 3v3 retake of this B-bomb site. Cobra's hot on the tracks with the Mag-7. The HE grenade is going to even the numbers in favor of this Club 333 lineup, but Umar says nay, nay.
Secret Agent bought so much time for his team to rotate. Clubs are already here. Bomb already halfway ticked down, but it feels like a very doable retake. Kit on the back of Morrow as they start. Both players start to head on in through CT. They won't spot any of the Overtake players early on, and this one might already be too far gone. Sacrifice and Umar, though, going to make sure of it as they take down those final 2 players and secure the round. Now, my only question is this the start of a comeback, or are we just getting a one-off here for Overtake?
Well, here's the thing that concerns me, is Umar had more impact, or at least what felt like more impact with the rifle in that last round than he had with the AWP and all of his CT side, so it kind of raises some questions for me going into this second half, or deeper into the second half, and even further into the series in general as to whether or not he'll be able to pick up the AWP with that same amount of efficiency.
I mean, I also think that on Inferno, you're not going to be too sad to leave off the op.
I think that this round is pretty set in stone for Overtake. Bomb being punched in. Morrow just kind of left on an island to try and find some sort of late rotation, but not going to find anything just yet, as Jason hasn't made that rotation back up towards mid. Morrow just now trying to possibly save the FAMAS. I feel like that's the correct play, especially when you're isolated like this, but it becomes a question of whether or not Overtake are going to let him live. Hunt is vaguely coming to fruition. Morrow goes on the jiggle and is able to upgrade for his troubles.
Yeah, I mean, the worst part here for Club 3 clubs is the money is going to be completely lit on fire, so That AK going to be a big piece of whatever clubs want to try and build around to try and stop Overtake from evening this out. 2 rounds is the amount of time they've got left.
I mean, and it might as well be 1 round, considering that Morrow is only the only one bringing in some semblance of firepower into round 17. Learcy has a Mac 10, but I feel like it's not the biggest of issues, specifically on a map like Inferno. But delay utility is on point for Club 333. They're still cautious of this fast B play, so the early smoke towards half wall, but look at the stack that's happening into Boiler. Morrow on top of the head of Marky, so a deeper angle into apartments than Overtake might think. But still, Overtake aren't actually taking this space back into apartments, so it becomes a question of how long do these 2 players sit in this setup until they actually get called off, because a singular Molotov towards this B bomb site has drawn a rotation from Cobra, and I feel like it's the right decision if Overtake try to brute force their way in. They just have to be sure to cross all their T's and dot all their I's, because they can't underestimate USPs and the P2000s that Club 333 do have in their hands. See that off the back of the utility being thrown towards the B bomb site, they're going to go rotating right back to A, but the Molotov is burning both Marky and Morrow to a crisp. It's given space for Learcy to find an opportunity back through arches, and the rotation has been drawn, so Secret Agent definitely going to call for reinforcements towards this A bomb site, but Jason on the activation towards B nullifies that effect. Jason's going to go charging through, trying to spearhead this, and Sacrifice is going to have to collect Mason. So, with Club 333 completely locked out of the site, it should be a matter of how Morrow can actually save this AK-47, but it feels like that's not going to be the decision. Able to collect the first, swings for a second, and successfully knocks it down. But Marky, all he has is a USP to work with. No armor, Mac 10 in the hands of Learcy, but he's hit the floor, and the dinks are coming to fruition. So Intra now has a little bit more of a difficult task, and Marky collects a second. It's one hell of an investment.
Excuse me? There's so much damage being done on just the exits with the USP of all things. Sacrifice definitely looking to chase this, though. That is... No, is he going to go for more? 2 bullets, the clip runs dry, and Sacrifice pulls out his own pistol to finish the job. But, I mean, that was huge. Look at all the money that has been taken out of the bank accounts of Overtake after that. Like, you've got a couple of players on 7,000 and 8,000, but other than that, Overtake are back on the precipice now.
Yeah, and I think that specific instance of Marky being able to find damage on that, or on those exits, I think is a testament to the experience that we were saying he has and the capabilities of him as an individual, but it's just a matter of him slotting into whatever roster he's playing with. Umar has the T-sided op, is able to separate the head from the shoulders of Mason early, so the man advantage already gained for Overtake. It's just a matter of how they can actually convert this, because the rifles are all there for Club 333, and they still have a single piece of utility to delay, but it's going to be on Marky's belt.
The one other thing to worry about for clubs is there's only 1 kit in the hands of Secret Agent who's been left alone on the B bomb site. So if Overtake do speed this one up towards A, the rest of this round gets real scary for clubs. Does look like they've started to position themselves over toward that A-bomb site. We will see the execute called in. Smoke for short. Seriously, just waiting to see if anyone gets curious. But, man, that opening deletion for Umar for such a quiet CT side has to feel like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, absolutely. Op shot from Umar rings out through the smoke. Doesn't find an impact just yet. Has found some great kills on this T side, but our trap does come through. Intra and Umar able to collect kills. Morrow still standing from backside, is able to exchange 2 more of his own, but Marky has this difficult task to pull off from pit. Able to isolate the fight onto Umar, but can't find the shot to connect. It's going to be Umar instead who's good for the hat trick and ties us up at 9-all.
Umar from Library will make this play silent from clubs. 4 in a row for Overtake. And, I mean, this is a bit of a pattern that can get really dangerous on Inferno, where that T side really gets snowbally, really gets comfortable. Clubs, I'm looking for them to throw a wrench, throw a curveball to see if they can just screw Overtake up, maybe knock them a tiny bit off their groove, but I don't think it's going to come this round.
There's a possibility. Morrow does have an MP9, and he's playing a rather close angle in the boiler, so a possibility for maybe an upgrade, especially if it's going to be Learcy to keep this charge up and try to hunt for information, but it feels like, based on the positioning, Learcy's just going to wait for any over-aggression down bottom mid, and the rest of Overtake are going to slowly take their time and just poke and prod into this B-bomb site. Of course, as I say that, ability is going to be shuffled around, and Alpha control will be taken. Umar's going to hold the corner, flashbang for Jason to make an entrance, but Jason still has to pump the brakes. Can't go charging in just yet. And this is where Learcy can actually find some sort of impact, even though he's playing that A-lurk role. The Arch Smoke has been deployed. It's not going to dissuade much of a rotation. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, Secret Agent still lingering around this B-bomb site, but both Mason and Cobra are in position to completely nullify this site hit.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit worried about how long Overtake are taking on the execution toward this B-bomb site. These smokes have given clubs such a long run-up that once Overtake finally execute, it could be a really messy one. And with 25 seconds remaining, the rotation coming in from clubs, there's going to be 4 players to meet Overtake here. Cobra melting, but Jason will start off the proceedings. Morrow trades one back, and now Mason with the 5-7 has to go huge. Oh. Does he drop the planter here? He does! That's going to send Overtake to the Shadow Realm. The sacrifice left in the 1 versus 2. He doesn't have time. He's got the AK, but he can't find anybody, so Overtake run out of time in the end, and sacrifice just left to try and pick up a few conciliatory frags.
Yeah, and I really like that play from Club 333. We're talking about how Overtake were taking too much time on their setup towards this B-bomb site. And considering that Mason was able to go unchecked into New Box and there wasn't any sort of Molotov to flush him out, feels a little bit bewildering, but I think although Club 333 pull off that round, it's still somewhat of a success from the side of Overtake because they denied the AK-47s, denied the AWP from being picked up, but that won't take much of an effect. Mason's already on the other side of the half wall and is looking to punish anyone going through this smoke, but the spams do actually tag him down to 92. The rest of Overtake, however, are going to corral back towards brackets where Morrow is just now arriving towards the A-bomb site, and feels like they've been giving all the real estate to really work. It's just a matter of how they can actually make an entrance, but this is that stage in the round where you said they take too long to actually set up.
Yeah, and I mean, when we saw Overtake on such a heater so many rounds in a row, running out of time might be exactly the timing that clubs were looking for. And already, they've cut this down to a 2 versus 2 with a minute remaining. Markey just hanging out in pit and ripping heads. And Mason will finish this one off. It's 11-9, and it looks like Overtake have finally melted.
Yeah, I don't know how much I necessarily agree with that just yet. I feel like Overtake still have some sort of trick up their sleeve, because it doesn't feel like the rounds that Club 333 are losing is anything that Club 333 it doesn't feel like Club 333 are doing anything special to actually pick up rounds. It feels like it's Overtake getting a little bit too big for the britches, for lack of better words, and I'm not playing that respectful style of Counter-Strike, but I still think that this next round is guaranteed to put us onto map point.
Yeah, I mean, the hero Galil is always a worrying sign, and the rest of the money for Overtake, now they're down 2 rounds in a row, with one of those being a save, means the money is going to be about as good as it is for many, many people. Couple of pistols. Not the best thing on this T side, but and if they do pace things up towards Banana, they could catch a timing. There's only 2 players here for clubs. Agent taking point, going to put down the Molotov, delay a little bit as Overtake try to make something happen through the Molotov, and will be withered away by this MP9. Sacrifice trades 2 back, but in a 1 versus 3, the Galil, not a comfortable weapon, and Cobra's already set up to watch CT with the AWP. Oh, the first shot misses, though. That's a big kill for Sacrifice, but he can't get the job done fully. So clubs first one to map point with a 3-round buffer.
Yeah, and Overtake do have some semblance of bank account to be able to pull off a buy. We see AKs in the hands of Intra and Sacrifice. Learcy and Umar join the forces with Galils, and although it's not the best of weaponry, it's still something formidable to put up a fight against this Club 333 roster. Jason once again draws the short end of the stick with the MAC-10, but this is for all the marbles right here on Inferno. All Club 333 have to do is just wait for Overtake to walk into the crosshairs and even vie for some of this top brackets control, which, by the looks of it, Marky is trying to be a thorn in the side, but doesn't have much support. It's going to be Morrow instead to pick up the first frag of round 22, but immediately makes the exit, or so I thought, not before spraying away. Sacrifice converts onto Mason. Flashbang over the top, or at least I thought it was. A smoke towards Moto instead, but Morrow collects a second, and Cobra on the other side of the map has been decimating. It's all onto Intra and Jason's shoulders, whether or not they give up map number 1 to Club 333, but Intra is looking for a reposition and is caught on the jump on top of the balcony. Jason put into the grave as Club 333 take their own map pick in 13-9 fashion.
I mean, Marky, I feel like he's been off the server for a while, but he's clearly showing that he definitely still has what it takes. At 28 years old, we're looking for big things from the Latin American on the server.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, we talked about how he could either be a risk or what really makes this lineup and makes this series for Club 333, but it feels like it's going to be the latter of the two. He's been having a lot of impact throughout map number 1. It's a matter of whether or not he can carry that into the second, and that's going to be Mirage. But considering that Club 333 were able to walk away with their own map pick, it leaves me with some questions heading into the second one.
Well, I think going into this, we were kind of thinking that clubs were probably going to pick up their map pick. My biggest thought was just how dominant they were going to be. And with how hot Marky's looking, Mirage is another map that Marky was always fond of playing. So
yeah,
I think Overtake have got their work cut out for them as we go to map number 2. But before we do that, we do have to take a short break. So we will see you in just a few minutes.
This live stream is sponsored by SCL, an all-in-one CS2 training platform with a practice server, 2D viewer, and unique training modes like Defense Mode. Defend sites against bot executes that get harder every round. And Trade Fire, a pre-fire mode where enemies actually try to trade you. You can run every mode in co-op and track your progress and stats across all your training. Plus, you get an advanced 2D demo viewer. Use code Crossfire40 for 40% off your first month. That's under $3.
the side. Doing rockstar real things. Got a new kind of
Ladies and gentlemen, after a 13-9 in affair on Inferno, we have made it to map number 2 of Mirage between Club 333 and Overtake Sector. However, Floofies, we do have some housekeeping items, and the first of which is going to be to thank one of our sponsors for Crossfire Season 5, and that is going to be SCL, where you can run 24/7 practice servers, review matches in 2D, which is a feature that I really like because you can overlay multiple of a team's games on top of each other and kind of pick up some tendencies, but you can also build some real strategy into your gameplay with it. And whether you're grinding alone or trying to build some of that structure into your team, SCL has all of the tools you need to elevate your game, so make sure you check out scl.gg. But Floofies, for the here and now, between Club 333 and Overtake Sector, it looked kind of convincing on the side of Club 333, but we talked about some questions being raised going into Mirage, especially with Marky on the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, Marky not only looked sharp, he looked hot, and he looked like he was ready to roll. And going into Mirage, he's going to be a major sticking point if Overtake want to keep this one heading to a map number 3. Now, both of these teams are going to be plenty familiar with Mirage. And I mean, you mentioned SCL. The great part about it is it does have replays from everything. You've got your ESCA replays, you've got your Crossfire replays, you've got your Nostalgia replays, stuff that's going to be more annoying to find. It's all there. And so clearly, I think we got to see some great preparation from the side of clubs. Now we'll get to see if Overtake can throw it back.
Yeah, and I think that Mirage is one of the maps that Overtake really thrives on, whether it's because they have such a high firepower potential, or even because they have a level of chemistry with them, because we talked about it, how 4 out of 5 of these players have all played together on a roster, whether it was Party Astronauts, Fluffy Aimers, One at some point in time. So I think that that will definitely work into their own favor. It's just a matter of whether or not Club 333 can really counteract that, show the resilience that they did on Inferno, and whether or not they can really lock down this mid fight, because I feel like mid is going to be a heavy point of contention for either Overtake or Club 333 on the T side, and I feel like that is really what's going to make or break this map.
I think the other thing is I'm waiting for Umar to heat up. I'm waiting for Umar to start to feast, because it seemed like he was in a bit of a famine there on Inferno. And given we highlighted him as one of the major victory conditions for the Overtake sector, I mean, Inferno isn't the most op-friendly map you're going to find. So to have a rougher side of things, it's understandable. But if you don't find your footing on Mirage, then it's troubles.
Yeah, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a counter argument. I almost think that there's an opportunity for Umar to really find some sort of opening, whether it's through CT, whether it's going for aggressive peaks with that AWP into upper B. But we'll have to wait until the next half, because Overtake find themselves on the T side. But as I mentioned, this is a map that Overtake have been very proficient on in recent memory, specifically in Crossfire. They had some spectacular results. They were able to 2-0 regain, and I'm pretty sure this map was featured in that matchup. But they also found a 13-5 victory against the Stormbore, and also a 13-11 victory against Wanted Goons. But I definitely think that those are two teams that are on 2 different calibers. But this A site hit definitely on the same caliber as all the other ones, especially when Mason finds 3, makes it 4,
Mason?
and now it's only Learsey, and Mason's going swinging. It's the pistol round ace from Mason, and Club 333 find themselves with a pistol round win.
Well, that's 3 out of 3 pistol rounds won by Club 333, and that has to feel like a major adrenaline shot for Mason, who's coming into this, as I mentioned, as a sub for Club 333. So now he gets to go, yeah, I'll carry you. No worries, guys. We're sitting in spawn shell-shocked about what just happened. I don't even know what else to say. That was huge. Overtake just walked out to their doom.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like that's kind of that brash style of Counter-Strike that I was talking about in the pre-show, is trying to find the fights and really take the mistakes and force them into the hands of Overtake. And speaking of mistakes, it's going to be a double peek into Connector. The first frag does go Morrow's way. Umar able to recover and rebound, but Mason hot on his hip. Is able to convert. Doing the 2v4. all Learcy and Sacrifice have are Desert Eagle and a P250 respectively, but the UMP is going to chop away at both. It's Cobra to find a 2K, one of those being flying, and Club 333 find a second.
2015 UMP is back, boys. It's like an AK for $1,200 against armorless players that are close up. But no, I say that. I love the UMP. I use it myself. I just don't get to see it very often at this high level of play, so makes me feel happy to see.
Yeah, I think that the UMP goes hand in hand with a weapon like the MP5 SD. I feel like that's a weapon that's a little bit undervalued.
It definitely is. I think it can have a major impact on the T side, where you don't have access to those silenced weapons usually. But, oh, up close and personal. Third round, not going to be expected. And Sacrifice just gets set down. Maro coming in with the UMP to continue collecting $600 a frag. And Overtake are just getting chewed apart. You see, making a lot of noise in connector, but Mason ready for him. Not the second, though, as Jason will trade it. With 50 HP and 3 players left on the Club's side, he will get picked apart. And Club's 3-3-3 with round number 3.
I really liked the proactivity from Cobra in that round, with the AWP going for that peek into upper B, and then you saw an immediate mid-round shift from Overtake to try and take the positioning of Connector and try to reroute back into the A-bomb site. But by the time they were able to find their footing, it felt like Cobra had just ran a marathon back over to Ticket and was able to kind of put Overtake into a rough spot in terms of, do they actually commit to their indecision, or do they continue with that exact thing, that indecision that really had them stuck towards bottom connector. But round number 4 hopefully is a different story. Marquee not going to allow them to find any sort of start. Lex Umar, so with a man disadvantage, Overtake have to try and compensate somewhere. It feels like they have to take a fight, whether that be into connector or into catwalk. And you can see Intra prodding towards cat, but not going to find much of an effect, as the only person home is Secret Agent, but he's all backed up all the way to Van.
I think the one thing that is nice here for Overtake is there's still an SMG left for Clubs, and they'll neatly avoid it. So at the very least, even if they do lose this one, it won't be as financially ruining. But already Mason is locking down that A-bomb site with 0 options for Overtake. Challenge from Cat. He's going to find Maro. But again, Mason from under Balk is just ripping Overtake a new one every which way. Sacrifice, though, getting up close and personal, going to stomp Markey. And the rotation back in from CT over on that AWP. The first shot misses, as does the second, and he won't get a third chance. Sacrifice with the headshot through the box. Use that SMG in the 1 versus 2. 20 seconds, though. Bomb numbers about to be punched in. Oh, massive shots onto Sacrifice. Can Jason turn this one around with 15 seconds remaining? A big peek, and it does work out. Overtake will secure their first round on this T side, but man, was it close.
Yeah, that MP9 from Secret Agent, having that fast rotation towards A, I think was the key for Club 333 to have a chance in that round. But now we see the AWP back into Umar's hands, and I'm almost curious as to whether or not Overtake are going to start picking up on the fact that Club 333 are making these hasty rotations, whether it's with the AWP or even just some of the supporting pieces back towards the B bomb site. And based on their setup here and now, I feel like that's kind of the read, is that they're going to send Intra back into Palace to try and find a fight, maybe even listen for rotations, and then try to pivot back into the A bomb site if that information is gathered. But if not, then they're going to be stuck charging into a wall, but that is the B bomb site and Secret Agent's M4A4.
Well, it's not an op, but I mean, if they do go charging into it, maybe we get a nice cold Zera play. Doesn't look like it'll be the case this round. As Overtake look to take mid control away from Club 333. Like the util falling into positions will give enough time to gobble up a bit more of this space up Cat, but they don't move. The smokes are going to fade, and then things will turn awkward. Already, Mason, he hasn't gotten enough kills on the past couple of rounds, clearly. What's one more? And
look at Mason. He's continuing this charge back into Palace, so if the ramp players don't find any semblance of information, or even that con player, Jason. If he doesn't spot anything, then it's a possibility that Mason is tracked down, but for the time being, Mason has the timing all the way through Palace. It's a matter of him actually rerouting back towards ramp, and as he rounds the corner, Overtake still completely unaware. Morrow and his teammate just going to wait for the activation, but it's a flash over the top, and Jason's able to walk away with one of his own. Marky swift with the rebound, but a missed op shot from Umar doesn't help their cause any further. Umar able to connect the dots. Sacrifice towards mid has been dropped, but Umar now has what feels like an impossible task. It's a 1v3, and Mason is hot on the tail. It's the MP9 once again that finds more impact than the op. And a 4th round for Club 333.
Yeah, Overtaker just starting to look rattled at this point. I mean, we saw a few slower rounds on that T side of Inferno, and coming into this Mirage, they're looking unsure of themselves. They started to look like they were playing respectful, but now it's just starting to be fear.
Yeah, and it starts to bring up the question, do Overtake kind of throw, not necessarily the strat book, but the pacing of the strat book out of the window, right? Do they take their time with the mid takes? Do they just throw utility and try to go somewhere else while being completely absent towards mid? But I don't think that will be the case, not in this specific run. It's going to be a 4-man charge towards mid, make that a 5th as Umar joins the forces, but Intra and Marky go 1 for 1. Mason once again is spraying, is able to convert, sitting at 14 and 2 heading into round 6.
I mean, you called out the fact that the pace might be the thing that Overtake need to change, and they are up mid now 30 seconds into the round, chewing apart clubs to try and keep things even. I like where Morrow's sitting, but I think the big victory condition, aside from Mason, has been removed. So Overtake maybe looking at a possible 2nd round here. Smoke's still doing a lot to keep them slow, though.
Look at the push from Secret Agent. The mid control has been lost from Club 333. So they're under the understanding that they have to get aggressive and pushy through another side of the map and through the extremities, and Secret Agent's done just that. He's found the timing through upper B, is going to try and timing these catwalk players, but Umar just might narrowly miss it, and Secret Agent doubles right back into apartments, and this might be their key to victory. They're going to walk into an empty bomb site with only Morrow playing Overwatch. Morrow hears the information and calls for the rotate, but still, Secret Agent in apartments might go unaccounted for.
I mean, or Morrow and Market might go unaccounted for. A good trade out of Sacrifice to keep Overtaking contention on this, but clubs have already rotated into position. Secret Agent from apartment, not able to get the job done versus Learcy, so leaves Mason all alone, but Mason's already got the 1 versus 5, not to be this round, as Learcy going to be able to double up to finish out the round. A 3K to allow Overtake a little bit of extra on this first half.
Yeah, attack timeout comes in from Overtake sector as well. One of the questions you have to start asking yourself is the pressure and the scenario that Overtake are playing in starting to crumble them? I mean, the pressure of being in playoffs, this is single elimination, so lose and you're out. But win and you move on to that championship game. So I'm almost wondering if some of that pressure is starting to be felt by the individuals.
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing with the finals here is the VRS, right? I think it's something that has been talked to death, but at the same time almost deserves more conversation, because with new tournaments starting to crop up and old tournaments starting to fall away, everybody's going to be looking to get on that leaderboard. And I mean, this is one of those rare situations where I think Overtake are the ones, despite the fact that I feel like we've seen clubs more, Overtake are the ones that are on that VRS leaderboard. So they've got more to lose if they do fall to clubs. Big change.
Great peak.
Big in mid here. Double entry turned into a triple by Jason as Overtake start to steamroll their way through mid. Nobody on Cat to stop them, so this B bomb site could be very easily taken over, but the smoke is going to cause them to rethink things.
Yeah, and rightfully so. You don't want to go charging into the AWP of Cobra, and although Secret Agent only has a USP for the moment, not necessarily a risk that you actually want to take. Numbers punched in. 35 seconds left on the clock as of now. And Overtake is staring down the barrel of a third, but Jason has heard the information. Not necessarily going to be keen to it just yet. both Secret Agent and Cobra may be hoping to find player asleep at the wheel. At this current point in time, it feels like it's going to be sacrificed with the Galil, but Cobra has to play this perfectly, especially when he's the holder of all of this firepower, but Cobra just waiting towards top mid. Will not find anything, presumably. No, it's Intra's going to keep walking in. Flashbang pops. Cobra forced to turn, but on the reswing, he will miss the timing. Cobra now being communicated that there's a player close by, and the op is thrown out the window. It's Intra and Sacrifice to clean up, and Overtake to find a third.
Yeah, I mean, Overtake are finding some really inventive ways to secure these rounds and even take away all the money. This round should be a pretty free win for them, right? They're up against the USBs and the P2K of Cobra. But, I mean, the one thing so far this series is clubs have been on point for the pistol rounds. They've won the pistols, they won the anti-ecos, and this game they even managed to convert the first gun round. So, I mean, as well as Overtake are playing, that is one little notch in the armor that it could be slowing. It is slowing them down quite a bit.
Yeah, round 8, though. Some of that same pace change we were talking about earlier. Intra going to be hurt on the drop down. Mason should be given the go-ahead, but doesn't actually want to risk his life. Not this early. Will go swinging late, and Intra able to remove his life force from him. It feels like this Overtake lineup is still a little bit hesitant about making their move into B, but as Sacrifice goes hunting, he should gather information that this stack is happening towards the A bomb site, bearing the fact that Club 333 make their move first. Overtake, though, I'm kind of feeling weary about this pause. You can see that Intra starting to make an entrance towards the A bomb site. Will connect the first. Secret Agent activates from Sandwich, and there's still another player in Palace, so Sacrifice still has an opportunity to hit the floor, and he will take 2 with him, but Markey is going to find the trade. That's an M4 for the recovery, and a little bit less of an investment that Club 333 have to make going into the next, and Markey might be able to find more, but no, that M4A1S is going to be ripped out of his hands. We're tied up at 4 all as we head into round number 9.
Yeah, this feels great from Overtake. The one thing that I feel like I've consistently seen from this T side is while they've got enough rounds to at least bring it to 4 or 5 on the T side, the CT side is where Overtake will really shine. So anything they find past this is just going to be icing on the cake. Clubs, I mean, I'm looking for them to just show us where the firepower went from the beginning of this half.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of want to piggyback off of what you were saying in terms of it feels like Overtake have plenty of breathing room going to the CT side. One of the all-time goats at casting, Launders, once said that 3 is measly, 4 is more. And so Overtake have hit that mark, especially on the T side of Dust 2, or of Mirage, rather.
Did he say it on CS2 or CSGO?
He said it on CS2, believe it or not.
Okay. I mean, 3 on MR15 is like, well, I guess we'll play the second half, but let's start thinking about the next map. On MR12, though, 3 rounds is, you know, hey, not so bad. This time, though, bit of a bloodbath over towards the A-bomb site leaves us at a 3 versus 3, and Markey going to very quickly change that up, so a couple of kills for himself, leaves now Mar and Learsea in a 2 versus 3. Great find, great tracking on the AWP. Molotov into connector are going to be the dinner bell for Mason to chase, and doubles up to close out the round. So clubs stop that forward progress of Overtake.
And the one thing that's kind of concerning, at least in terms of the grand scheme of things, is it feels like Club 333 are a little bit reliant on the individual plays, whether it be from Mason, whether it be from Markey, but Mason can't do all the heavy lifting on his own. It has to be some semblance of firepower coming out from the rest of the roster, and up to now, we're not seeing that. Markey's being the only person that's remotely close to Mason with 6 kills of his own, but still, Mason at 18 will try to have his impact felt. Morrow is shut down through the bottom con swing, but Jason has taken all of the residents that he has given up. squatter's rights, if you will, but Learcy and the rest of the squad are still trying to take this mid pressure, and they have done so successfully, but look at where Cobra is. As the AWP is peering out of TV room, but this becomes dangerous, especially when Umar is checking the backside. It's Jason now to spearhead into connector. Little does he know, both Marky and Mason, the double M's, await in the wings.
Yeah, Umar definitely switched on now. And it only gets more dangerous from here for Club 333. The water is starting to rise. The card's starting to get warped as Jason and Umar, another 2. 5 versus 1 now. Secret Agent cowering on the B-bomb site. Just waiting for that bomb to be planted so this round can end. But Learcy spots him over towards... Or did he spot him? I thought he did.
He did. Yeah.
Jumps up towards Van. There it is.
Yeah, he definitely had to have spotted him. I think he was just waiting for a reswing back towards Market. Secret Agent instead tries to make an escape back through apartments, but slowly the jaws are closing around him and trying to take one with him. But Umar, like you said, activated and warmed up into the series. I mean, this is a significant amount of impact that we're seeing in comparison to the last map, especially when it felt like Umar was just being targeted from this Club 333 lineup, but they're having some difficulties doing that, especially on the CT side so far.
Yeah, and I mean, the money's still not repaired either for clubs, so Secret Agent rebuying that MP9, but the rest of the squad on pistols, and not even a scrap of armor. It's Secret Agent doing all the buying. Maybe a little bit of a disconnect in the comms for clubs. That comes back to haunt them as they head over to that T side, but they're going to start to get pulled apart already. Mason falls to Jason. And just gets worse and worse. The plow has started on the side of Overtake, and they will reap Club 333. Morrow left in the 1 versus 4. Deagle in hand. We got to see some magic out of the Deagle from the other side of the server. We'll see if Morrow's got it in hand as well as Overtake. Looking at this A-bomb site, thinking that this is the right spot, but Morrow's waiting in the wings, but no armor. It's just a simple mopping up exercise. Jason puts him out of his misery.
Yeah, Jason, a little bit of an eco-fragger, but stats are stats nonetheless. Currently leads the scoreboard at 11-6 for the side of Overtake. However, Mason has kind of frozen over, if you will. I mean, it feels like we haven't seen much from him in the prior 2, but still an opportunity to tie this up at 6-all before going into the second half of Mirage, does Club 333 have. And it's going to be bolstered by the AWP of Cobra. Club 333 not finding success with the mid-fights are going to give it up or relinquish it once more, but that gives Intra all the space he needs to apply pressure. The refocus of the gaze back towards the bomb side, though. Jason's going to try and make an entrance, successfully does, but the trade comes in from Marky, and he doubles up for his troubles. The last 2 members of Overtake are forced into what feels like an A-bomb site hit, but the rotations from Club 333 should come back in sooner rather than later, especially when Marky is already going hunting for information.
Yeah, I mean, that the players in apartments looked really good with that first kill, but you miss Marky, and he's going to make you pay. He absolutely made Overtake pay, and this 2 versus 4 is not set up for success. Both players emerging from ramp, but at the very least, clubs haven't rotated anyone over just yet, so good amount of space to be found, but with the footsteps, they should be heard, and Molotovs will make doubly sure. Oh, they didn't molly off connector. Mason, easy kill on a Learcy with his back turned. Umar on 30 HP, now fighting for his life. First shot connects, but he's going to need 3 more to win out this round, and he does not have the time to iron this out. He's just going to be peeked from CT, and it's Morrow to clean this one up. Evens us out at 6-6.
Yeah, and it feels like an interesting predicament to be in if you're Overtake. And I mean, I guess likewise if you're Club 333, is it feels like this pistol round is of equal, if not more importance than the initial one. You start this here, you're almost guaranteed 7-8 on the board. But Club 333 going to take attack timeout, try and maybe pull out a set play. I'm almost expecting some volley of utility to try and target one of the assets that Overtake Sector do have. But whether or not they're able to actually capitalize becomes the next question, because Floofies, you even said it yourself that it feels like the CT side is where Overtake really thrive.
They do. And I mean, when we're going into the second half completely even, both teams are going to be looking for that pistol to swing the favor, and clubs have secured 3 out of 3 pistols, 3 out of 3 anti-ecos. So, I mean, while Overtake have had some really strong CT sides in the past, they're going to want that buffer to find their comfort zone early.
A little bit extra utility for the side of Club 333. Morrow does have a P250 and body armor to work with. Meanwhile, I'm interested to see this play from Club 333. Maybe some late mid utility, top mid smoke partnered with that window smoke. Actually, window and connector smoke. That's going to open up the doorway for the mid players to find a fight, if not take all of this catwalk control. You can see that interest still resides towards the bricks, but is forced off the angle by a flashbang. The other 2 players from Club 333 are going to try and slowly make the walls close around this B-bomb site. They've successfully done so. It's Mason and Markey to find kills of their own. Morrow chimes in for an additional, but Umar only has a smoke and a defuse kit and the USP in his hand. He rips the head off of Mason, but needs to find 3 more to make this clutch somewhat doable. Is aware of the fact that Markey's close based off the information, and also knows that there's a player towards Arch, but Morrow has the swift shot. It's the coveted 6-7 scoreline as Club 333 take the lead.
4 out of 4 pistol rounds for Club 333. That is a sobering statistic if you're looking at this from the Overtake side. I mean, with as strong as their gun rounds have been, if they had gotten 1 out of 3 of them, this series feels obvious to say, but would have been so different. See if they can come back, going for the full save going into round number 14. So looking to buy back up on the next round for the full rifles.
I'm almost thinking, though, that Overtake are trying to allow Club 333 to find some sort of footing into this B bomb site and maybe even offer up a retake, because it feels like if Club 333 hit the site that is completely vacated, it's just going to be a matter of whether or not Overtake can position themselves for the exit kills. Window smoke and connector smoke makes an appearance once again, maybe a little bit of a repeat of this pistol round, but instead of 3 members heading out towards mid, it's going to be 2 exclusively. A shot is exchanged back through the window, not going to find any effect on either side, but rotation's being called over for Overtake, and Club 333 find no one home. So, like I mentioned, it's a matter of whether or not Overtake can actually put themselves in a position to find exit kills. And Intra not going to be a part of that, nor is Umar. The rest of the squad starting to make their way through T-spawn. Sacrifice definitely going to be the one to hold from Catwalk or even CT, but both Jason and Learsey, I think, don't really have any expectations going into this post plan. I feel like it's just a matter of trying to find the kills, trying to upgrade into a rifle to make that investment going into round 15 a little bit cheaper. Jason having a rough time connecting the Desert Eagle shots. Secret Agent walks away and actually is forced back into Underpass. So, great deal of damage. Learsey not able to convert the kill. It's going to be Desert Eagles for the recovering and Sacrifice. Possibility of going hunting for information, but Learsey still trying to take the fight towards top mid and takes the rifle out of Morrow's hands. Secret Agent gifted another opportunity at life, but Club 333 instead will take an 8th.
Yeah, I mean, I struggle to find things to talk about just because this is now instance number 3 of clubs being 2 rounds ahead just from a pistol and a force. We'll get to see if we have that signature Overtake defense. The CT side always been a very important one, as it started in a little bit slowly. Ooh, good
The
find.
other thing I'll touch on is the fact that for the side of Club 333, the scoreline has started to even out across the board. You mentioned that early find. Intra going to be responsible for securing the man advantage. That's not going to stop Club 333 from trying to make an entrance into this A bomb site. Flashbangs over the top of Molotov to force back anyone playing stairs, but Umar still yet to activate towards triple, finds a conversion. It's sacrificed to peer over the top of the stairs, and suddenly, Markey thrown into the 1v5. 4 players are touched up by the bullets, but still Markey won't have any chance at a fight, especially when Jason is sharp as a thumbtack.
Yeah, I mean, And that's kind of what you're looking for. Umar playing that A-site anchor has been such a key piece of the Overtake defense. It's so difficult to dislodge him. As soon as he gets that op out as well, I think it would be time for clubs to be quite scared. But until then, money has met its end for clubs, so just a 3-piece of rifles with the pistols in the hands of Cobra and Marky. And Cobra already tagged up. Mason getting lit up as well. Jason be the benefactor of that first kill, sending clubs packing right back down ramp and off of his A-bomb site.
Yeah, a little bit of Bogdan's Law. Cobra going to be the next in line towards a ramp, but Jason, with the advanced positioning, will be able to capitalize. The rest of Club 333 just kind of searching for answers across this map of Mirage. That answer, at least in the here and now, seems like the B bomb site. You're thinking about the utility, but can't be too indecisive, as that might be what causes his demise. There's a timing happening towards ramp. Secret Agent trying to look for a fight, but Jason instead is going to be the one responsible for his death. And with the bomb back in towards apartments, Morrow does have to be the one to collect it. The footstep, or the drop rather, definitely heard, and Intra's going to go prodding, but won't spot anything. Actually going to refocus that gaze back towards top mid, but the exchange happens out B. Morrow still trying to be a thorn in the side, but Intra finds the activation, and Marky left in the 1v5. Jason has the hat trick, looking for more, but He's going to be shut down first, and Marky doesn't have the bomb, so just looking for any sort of financial impact, and will smoke the window, and has converted a second kill, so maybe a little bit of regret that he didn't bring the bomb into the bomb site with him. 10 seconds left, so no opportunity to recover it, and he's just waiting for a fight to come to him, but it will not happen. The rest of Overtake aware that Umar has the bomb, and will allow the time to expire. Umar may be on the prowl to try and find a kill, but as he taps away, Marky just tucks into the corner, and we are tied up at 8-all.
Well, this is going to be where we really see if Overtake can run away from this half or not, because Marky holding on to that AK is honestly huge for clubs. I mean, considering how scary he was already, we know how strong he can be with an AK in his hands.
Make some of that impact felt. Aggressive underpass posture. Mason going to be the one to lead the charge out towards top mid. Definitely spotted on that jump across, but more AK spam towards catwalk leaves a little bit of ambiguity into the mind of Club 333. No visual just yet. Counter flash over the top from Overtake, but still a relatively fortified A bomb site. And this is what Club 333 felt like they were doing properly on their own CT side, is playing the map of Mirage. Whether losing that mid-fight and trying to reposition back towards your extremities, or even just all-out fighting for mid. But this round, it leads Overtake into the backseat. It's Mason to trade out Umar. A little bit of a flavor spray from Lyrcy, but he is able to find the kill that matters most. And Morrow finds what feels like a commiseration frag, but that could lead to another. It's going to be Jason to close it out. 9 rounds on the scoreboard for Overtake, and 1 away from that double digits.
Yeah, and Overtake have actually finally broken the bank of clubs, so now one breath of fresh air around where they'll get to face just pistols from this T side. But I say just pistols, and we saw Morrow doing some scary things with the Deagle in the last round. It's Marky picking it up as well, going into round number 18. I mean, despite the lower level of weaponry, I'm still scared for Overtake. That's a great start for Intra, though, making sure that Mason is paved into the street on Cat. Look at everyone making their way out of apartments, though, for clubs. Lyrcy will melt down the first, and he positions. He's got bomb in his sight as well, but the spray down! He's got his teammate behind him. Will live on the edge. 7 hit points as 10 rounds secured by Overtake.
And Club 333, they're going to have to sell their shoes to afford this buy. See that Secret Agent has some good money, but not really enough to pull off a rifle and utility. But as aforementioned, they have sold the Jordans, they have sold the Yeezys, and are now trying to live life on the edge. AK-47's an utility to work with, but Umar has the AWP, and here's that mid-fight that I was talking about 2 rounds ago. Overtake trying to vie for this control and have successfully found it, so the bolstering of these extremity sites should come in shortly.
Yeah, you mentioned it. A little bit of a threadbare offense with no AWP from clubs. And I mean, Overtake doing a very good job of keeping them at bay early into this. Though Cobra opens things up, and Mason behind him will take the man advantage in the favor of clubs. And that's 2 kits down in mid as well. The rest of Overtake have kits as well, but I mean, $400 a pop is not something you want to keep losing. Jason and Connector looking to pave these final 2 players. Oh, he's got a third as well. Cobra trying to sneak past him, gets demolished. Morrow down to 3 HP. We'll find the head of Umar. 1 versus 2, an easy pickup for Jason. As Overtake now on 11.
Yeah, Overtake looking to finally cement their own map pick. But this is where that resilience comes in. Club 333 will not have a bye, at least a good one in this round 20. But I'm almost expecting some sort of adjustment from Club 333. It feels like Overtake have been giving them different looks in every single round, whether that's with the mid fight or even just giving up mid and trying to bolster the extremities. And regardless of what Overtake are doing, it feels like they're finding success. And whether that's off the back of Jason being 22-9 or even Sacrifice being 15-3, but I feel like that exemplifies what I was talking about on the CT side of Club 333, is being reliant on these heroic plays from each individual members. But as we go deeper into the series, everyone seemed to kind of cool off, whereas Overtake, specifically Umar, has started to warm up into this one, and even Jason finds himself, like we mentioned, at 22-9.
Yeah, I mean, that's the scary part about the Overtake defense, is really it could be any player. It could be you, it could be me. And in this situation, I mean, yeah, we get Umar lighting things up to start things off. Marquee flattened as clubs try to work their way up mid. Where's Umar even gotten to? He's all the way back on Van, so an early kill is a nice little snack for round number 20. Oh, big push in through window. Everything is smoked off. Where's the kill? Intra finally irons it out.
And the top connector smokes surely to fade soon. Last 3 members of Club 333 a little bit indecisive as to where they actually want to direct this push. But Umar, being the sole surveillance drone towards the B-bomb site, has not spotted anything towards apartments and has to be cautious of this timing up catwalk. None of his teammates are providing overwatch just yet. It's just more so a possibility that they could walk up, and Umar has reactions in the bag. It's Cobra to lose his head, Sacrifice able to make Secret Agent live up to his own name, and Mason sits at 25-14, but a 1v5 ace would be absolutely critical, but Sacrifice shuts it down before it even gets started. It's Overtake on to map point.
Well, looking like we're going to map number 3. Don't want to be too far ahead of myself, but if Overtake do take it here, that's at least 1 round ahead that they could say that they kind of beat clubs by. And I mean, you did call out Umar in the last round. This round, getting that double to really set Club 333 on edge.
Yeah, but they're teeter-tottering on the edge of the B-bomb site. Molotov forces them backwards. Intra able to open up round 21 with a kill onto Secret Agent. Block smoke into upper B. Feels like it's an angle of approach for Morrow. He's going to try and capitalize, but not finding any spots as that smoke blooms further than he'd like. Umar, more impact here. Kill from Sacrifice as well. All 3 members, Umar, Intra, and Sacrifice, find kills respectively. Make Learcy add himself to the tally. And Learcy, all he has to work through is Marquee. Intra's made his arrival, so to offer support, but it will be for nothing. Marquee's going to rip 2 heads off, looks for the 3rd, but cannot convert. It's Sacrifice instead to put the cherry on top as Overtake take their own map pick of Mirage, 13-8, but Luffy's, this is where we move into Dust 2, and if Mirage went this way for Overtake, I'm almost worried because it feels like Inferno is a little bit of an inclination to Dust 2, but Mirage at the same time has that really heavily aim-reliant gameplay, and so I think that if Overtake are going to come out on top of this series, they need to dive a little bit deeper into their bag of tricks.
Yeah, I mean, Dust 2 honestly is a way more tricky map than I feel like it used to be. So we'll get to see where those tricks lead them. However, before we get there, we do have to take a short break. So stick around with us. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
This live stream is sponsored by SCL, an all-in-one CS2 training platform with a practice server, 2D viewer, and unique training modes like Defense Mode. Defend sites against bot executes that get harder every round. And Trade Fire, a pre-fire mode where enemies actually try to trade you. You can run every mode in co-op and track your progress and stats across all your training. Plus, you get an advanced 2D demo viewer. Use code Crossfire40 for 40% off your first month. That's under $3.
Your relationships are never meant to last. All the feelings that we shared are in the past. Your relationships are never meant to last. It might take some time, but I'll be alright. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. I know times are tough, but I've had enough. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. Moving on,
Won't you take me to that place? Take me to that place. Won't you take me to that place? Won't you take me to that place? Won't you take me there, man? Because you said enough, you said enough, you said enough. Because you said enough, you said enough.
Welcome back, Crossfire fans, and I've actually got a very happy news for you. So we hit an important milestone after that last map. The Play Crossfire Twitch channel passed over 1,000 followers. So over 5 seasons, over dozens of casters, observers, producers, the work of all of us, as well as the contributions of you out there in chat. Thank you for making Crossfire what it is today. We wouldn't be here without you. And thank you to our sponsor, MyHUD. MyHUD.app, the HUD that we're using in this game. If you thought that the graphics or the stats that we have on screen are pretty spiffy, MyHUD would be your place to go for that. It's very reasonably priced, and it's got the auto observer that we got to see last night, as well as plenty of other awesome features. Go try it out for yourself at myhud.app. And now, about the map number 3. We go to Dust 2, and we get our first real knife round of the series. So, I mean, with the fact that Overtake have been a little bit lackluster on the pistols, we'll see how they do on knife round, and I think that could be a very big trend setter for how Dust 2 starts to look for us.
Yeah, and we were talking about it towards the end of map number 2, but I think that map number 3 of Dust 2 does bring into bring some questions into play. I feel like, and we kind of discussed it slightly in the break, but it feels like Dust 2 is a little bit of a combination of both Inferno and Mirage. Mirage requiring a lot of firepower, Inferno being more strategy heavy, but it feels like Dust 2 takes the best of both worlds and combines them. And, I mean, clearly Club 333 on Inferno had the strategy down pat, but Overtake throughout this whole series, it feels like they've been warm and shooting as they should be, but like I said, it leaves me with some questions as to who's actually going to come out on top of Dust 2, because this map is a very firepower and strategy reliant one.
Well, it's July 3rd, and I can tell you in Chicago, the fireworks have already started. I imagine you in Dallas, or you in Texas have already started hearing fireworks as well. But soon we'll get to see them on the server. I mean, both of these maps have been very back and forth affairs, right? With the pistol rounds going in the favor of clubs, but the Deagles being very solid for Overtake.
I 100% agree. I mean, I think that Overtake has the prior results to lead me to believe that they should be able to take this, but at the same time, it feels like Club 333 have been able to put up some formidable results on Dust 2 as well. They saw a 13-5 victory over Exnotos, and although that isn't, you know, the same caliber of a team such as Iowa Stormbore or One and Goons, where Overtake were able to stop them, for lack of better words, I still think it is some semblance of the fact that they know how to play this map and are capable when the time comes. But we also have to think about this, Floofies. This is where your tournament run is on the line. Lose here, you are sent home into the fourth place matchup. Win this, and you move on into the championship to face off against Regain. And so the pressure might be on to either of these rosters, but we'll have to see if they are able to withstand it. It's map number 3, Dust 2, between Overtake and Club 333.
Sure is. And we're going to start things off long, it looks like. 3 players here for Overtake, and already Morrow taking a little bit of a peek towards it, but it's a careful one. It's a jump peek. Jason spots him out, and that's enough for him to go, understandable, have a nice day, as clubs all head up cat. I mean, it's a Dust 2 pistol. What are you going to do?
It feels like the setup from Overtake is self-explanatory in terms of vying for this early long control, and after not spotting anything, being ready for some sort of late hit, whether it's through catwalk or through long, but the first of which is going to be the actual target from Club 333. Inch is able to find a crispy one-tap onto Secret Agent's head. Mason converts a kill onto Learsea, but Jason is trying to have his impact felt. Morrow is the one to shut down Intra, and Marquis collects a kill for his own, so in the blink of an eye, it's all onto Umar and Jason. It's the pistol rounds that have felt successful for Club 333, but Overtake trying to put a stop to that here and now.
Yeah, it's not looking likely, though, as clubs have gotten themselves quite a bit of space over towards Cat. Umar going to make his way up towards the site itself as the defuse going to start to be attempted by Jason, but his head ripped off leaves Jason alone in the 1 versus 2. There's not enough time left. He doesn't have a kit. Cobra jumping up, going to secure pistol round number 5 for clubs.
Flips the switch on the Glock, hits him with the 3 burst, and walks away with a round win. What more could you ask for on the T side of Dust 2 if you're Club 333? But I think that question is better raised towards Overtake in terms of what more could they have asked for from Umar in the past 2 maps, and that's going to be a key piece of this map for me, is whether or not Umar is able to find activation and find that impact with the op that's been a little bit lackluster recently, and Cobra already cements the man advantage with a beautiful shot onto Jason.
Yeah, gotta love the Dust 2 Scout. It's almost like a hallmark of the map. Nice long map, nice long rifle, plenty of opportunities to look for tags or headshots. Cobra going to stick around for even more. Spots the player in mid, though this next couple of shots aren't going to connect. It's Intra to actually battle back like a wounded animal stuck in a cage, but these pistols are not going to have enough to finish the job. Cobra going to grind through Learcy to finish the round, and it's going to be a quick 2-0 for clubs.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this first round, or first rifle round rather, from Overtake is going to look. Umar not going to have the AWP, of course. Learcy opts for some lesser firepower in exchange for, that's awkward. Secret Agent, I think, was trying to jump throw a smoke, but jump throw nullified by Cobra. Maybe even a little bit of a Goomba stomp, if you will. But in terms of Learcy having more utility, it feels like it's been the right call so far. A lot of that early utility has been expended, but Club Triple 3 have been given free reign down bottom mid. It's going to be Marky to spearhead this catwalk push, but he hasn't found much information just yet, and with Umar still posted towards long doors, it leaves a little bit of ambiguity into the minds of Overtake, but Marky, trying to remove just that, is able to convert on Marky. Secret Agent going to be the next in line to try and break his way through the chopping block, but has his head separated from his shoulders by Umar instead. It's Intro to follow up. The first rifle round finding success for Overtake.
Yeah, a massive anchor for Intra, making sure that clubs just hit a wall on Cat this time around. And I mean, with the fact that between this and the pistol, Club 333 have hit that Cat side now a couple of rounds, it's very good adaptation from Overtake to take those rifles over there and make sure that there's nothing for them. 2 versus 4. Mason on a whole 12 hit points as he loses Morrow next to him. And it's Intra with a 4K on this rifle round, sending Overtake into a clean and comfortable 1-2.
Yeah, and I talked about how on Mirage, it felt like Club Triple 3 were relying a lot on the individual plays from their own members, but I feel like that same kind of statement could be made in terms of us too for Overtake, as they can't necessarily let Intra do all the heavy lifting. It has to be a unanimous effort from everyone, and Sacrifice currently sits on the donut. Maybe a little bit too nitpicky considering we're on round 4, but not going to have, or surely shouldn't have, too much impact considering that this B hit is underway. A flashbang out, actually a lurk smoke, and Learcy fighting a blind battle. Can't see into the tunnels, and nor can Triple 3 see out of them, but the exchange of weaponry between Marky and his accomplice is a little bit labored. It's going to be a reroute back towards mid. We also see that Cobra is still posted towards the taxi with the scout, and might look to reposition back towards Sui to find some sort of impact, but is actually going to rotate all the way back through T-spawn, and Club Triple 3 are looking to regroup back into this B bomb site.
Yeah, they haven't tested this B bomb site yet, so I think it's a good idea, even though there's 2 players on site, and Learcy is already flattened Secret Agent. Mason, good response, and Morrow going to lock down mid, so that leaves Learcy all on his own. He's been deleted as well, and at this point, Overtake can barely even rotate. Morrow is going to hold this down and make sure that Sacrifice and Umar go nowhere. Sacrifice up first, good trade out of Umar. Maybe actually a retake here. I don't know what happened to these players on the B bomb site, and Marky's on 24 hit points. He does spot the nade flying through door, so as Umar tries to set up window, it's an easy conversion as the clubs secure their 3rd round.
And that 3rd round going to be ever so delightful to the bank accounts of Club Triple 3. Morrow and Secret Agent draw the short end of the stick, but Marky still has somewhat of a cash reserve if things go awry here and now. Rifles in hand for Overtake, mid-utility being dispersed from Mason. And Overtake immediately pushed back from Catwalk. It feels like there hasn't been a lot of resistance to do so, but utility should force Intra into a tough decision. Do you swing or do you go? And going is going to be the optimal option whereas Umar is going to be the one to collect the kill. It's still a fight towards Catwalk, though, that leads to Marky finding 2, and Intra's forced to pick up the M4 and try to hold the line, and he successfully does so. It's a 3v3, bomb on the back of Morrow, but still the pincers are trying to close around this A-bomb site.
You mentioned it earlier, Jason, on the side of Overtake, but Marky looking like the mass murderer over here, the horror villain on Club 333. It is a 2 versus 3, but Morrow set up for long as Intra backs away. Easy catch. So 2 on 2. His bomb looking to make its way up long. Flash paused for the cross, and Molly into elevator forces Jason out into the open. Cobra all ready and set up to double up. 4-1. His clubs starting to look quite scary on Dust 2.
Yeah, and I talked about how it felt like the key to success for Overtake was dictating the pace, but it feels like Club 333 are trying to take that into their own favor and trying to dictate how fast Overtake are able to rotate, and whether that's because they're withholding the information on some of these repositions and just letting the utility fly, or if it's because of the gunfights that are going in their favor. It's starting to work, and Cobra maybe pulling off some guerrilla warfare, some unconventional strategies with the P90, but it's still going to try and lead the charge back into the A-bomb side. A smoke for the back of the site, not one to hit towards the cross, but it feels like Club 333 are wanting to take the fight instead. It's Cobra with 2 on the P90, finds the hat trick and is spraying away to try and find sacrifice, but it'll be Marky instead to pick up the pieces. It's a 5th round for Club 333 as they find what feels like a great deal of momentum on their side.
You know, there's a silver in all of us that always loves to see the P90 pulled out and succeeding. So there's a part of me that's very happy to see Cobra just charging up long against the pistols. And I mean, you could temper it and say, hey, he was just fighting pistols, like, you know, calm down. But it's still funny. Oh, we'll see if he gets to do it again. No. He's already out long. Flashes, though, push Overtake back. So they're not going to let him do this again.
Shot rings out. Morrow going to be on the receiving end of it. 90 was still in hand, but Cobra switches it out for the M4A4. Cobra will be sat down. Club 333 still trying to brute force their way through long. The flashbang actually hits Mason, but Secret Agent is the one to find the kill instead. And the double op setup from Overtake has put them into a little bit more of a pacifist posture, but still Marky back towards Palm Tree should be able to catch Jason off guard, and successfully does. So there's a free opening for Club 333 to pivot back towards B if they so please. But you can see that Intra is trying to recover some of this slack.
I mean, that P90 just has completely unraveled Overtake. They felt like they were coming into this Dust 2 with some confidence after Mirage, but the P90 just made them completely reconsider everything they've ever done in this game. Like, I mean, you mentioned that the double op setup is going to give them a little bit of a passive setup, but it's passive, but it's even just terrified. I mean, what do you do when the slasher of Marky is on the other side of the server and he is on a massive heater?
I think that's the kind of pros and cons of running the double op, right? Is the ops have to play so far back, and that essentially invites the T side to take space, but if the op shots don't actually connect, then they're kind of a lost cause. And as you mentioned, Marky being the spearhead for a majority of these plays has been absolutely brute forcing himself into these sites. But just like that, 40 seconds go back on to the clock, and Umar has to try and save his team from losing what should have been their round. Lost the first player towards Big Box, won't be ready for Mason towards Car, and Club 333, a round that they should have no business pulling off, is a round that gives them 6.
All right, a real question. Does Cobra rebuy the P90? You see the double op setup? That means that the money for Overtake is hurting. That gives you so much freedom. But it does look like we are going to get the AK this time around.
You know, the phrase that I always like to say is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I think that would have been a perfect scenario to exemplify that, but Cobra instead, after finding his death, will pick up the AK instead. Marky does have an op in hand, which is a little bit interesting, especially considering we saw Cobra with that very same op back on Inferno. But Marky has the game in the palm of his hands. I mean, look at the score lines for both Marky and Cobra, 11-3 and 10-2 respectively. Meanwhile, for the side of Overtake, you still have two players that are sitting on a breadstick. It's Jason and Sacrifice. Intra's been doing all the heavy lifting, but to no avail. It's just given Club 333 more opportunities to find their way into this map and to possibly come out on top of this series, because if this momentum keeps rolling into the second half, then who knows how dominant this Dust 2 is going to look.
I do want to put a little pin in this, in that, yeah, it's looking pretty dire for Overtake, but there are plenty of times where Dust 2 can start to look really T-sided, right? You find that opening pick, and then the rotation for the CTs can be so long, and you're just stuck behind opportunities that the T side gets to cut you off completely. This time, though, they're meeting a wall, and it's Intra once again, already picking off a couple, looking for more, but this time his reign will be quenched. 2 versus 4 for Club 333. Maro looking to get this bomb down, 17 HP. He loses his teammate next to him. Umar looking to finally get involved on this game, but it's Jason to close out the round. And Overtake finally doubling up on those rounds.
Yeah, they find a second, but here's where it becomes concerning. Look at the amount of money that each individual player has, that Bomb Plant adding to that cash injection, and Mason has $9,500, so the AWP is available if either Marky or Cobra want it, and Marky's just going to outright buy it from his own bank account. So heading into round 9, you have to wonder whether or not Club 333 actually make an adjustment or continue to try and pull off what has been working for them in the past, because, like I said, it feels like Club 333 are starting to run away with Dust 2, but Overtake forced the parking brake on. Marky's able to find an exit out of long doors and does have the AWP as the optimal weapon to take engagements out long, but the man advantage has already been secured from Overtake.
Yeah, and this isn't something that they've gotten to experience too many times, this Dust 2, so really hoping to see some ironing out of this defense. Clubs with a heavy lean toward the A-bomb site. This worries me a little bit. There's plenty of firepower for Overtake here, and they've already shut down the cat player. Marzot misses, gets punished by Maro, but these rifles, Intra has been everything for Overtake and more. Everything in a bag of chips, and he's not going to stop now. Flattens Maro, could trade out of Secret Agent, but there's 2 players here, and Sacrifice will put an end to this. Bomb drops close to that site, leaves Marky all alone, and he's a scary player, but 1 versus 3, maybe a bridge too far. As he starts to play around the cross, Learseat looking close. Down to try and block this off. Oh, I like the peek before it blooms.
Yeah,
there could have been.
I thought maybe if he wrangles that spray a little bit, but bygones be bygones. Overtake find a third. AK-47 recovered for Sacrifice. Umar once again has an opportunity with the AWP, but as we've mentioned, it feels like Umar's been a little bit lackluster, especially considering he's the main opper for this Overtake lineup, so I'll be interested to see if there's some sort of priority around getting that double op setup back and going again. But not going to be here, not going to be now. Molotov towards Catwalk to put a delay to this Catwalk aggression Club 333 are trying to display. An HE grenade down Catwalk in exchange will force Mason to reroute back towards bottom mid. You can see 2 players waiting outside of tunnels. Mid to B smoke has been deployed, and with Mason being the only player on an AK-47, it feels like Club 333 have to try and set him up for success. Intra flash through the double doors, able to wrangle the spray to find 2, but doesn't find anything else. It's Mason to shut him down, and Jason instead will be the one to receive the rest of the contact towards B, but Secret Agent has something to say about it. A flashbang through the doors, number's going to be punched in. The 55 seconds turned into 40, but a well-timed flashbang is going to be Secret Agent's demise. A 4th round for Overtake. AWP going to be recovered for Umar as well. And maybe even the thought of a 6-6 half going into the second half of Dust 2.
Well, if a 6-6 half is what's prophesized, this is going to be the round that Overtake. I mean, technically both are the ones that they have to win, but this is the full buy coming in from clubs to try and take back the driver's seat on this side of Dust 2. No op once again for Cobra, so critical piece missing from this T side. If that comes back to haunt them. Ooh, big play out long, but this time Intra ready. And making sure that A site is swept up clean for Overtake.
Swing over the top of Catwalk. Molotov to delay any sort of push. The only player going to be home to receive this contact is Intra, but he's been the heavy hitter for this Overtake lineup. The cross smoke's being prepped up from Cobra. And I believe there is not actually another smoke, so they're only going to have one to work with. Maybe a Molotov to try and force Intra into a swing that he doesn't actually want to take. But nonetheless, minute left on the clock. Club 333 starting to feel a little bit suffocated as to their options in this round number 11. Smoke's deployed, flashbang over the top. The second smoke is there, so there is a little bit of room for Intra to work behind, but Jason fast on this flank is trying to throw a wrench into the plans, but not if Intra doesn't need him. Converts 2 kills off of wrangling that M4 spray, but the spam through the box drops him to 20, and somehow he's able to walk away with the hat trick. Meanwhile, Jason is just left to pick up the crumbs. It's a 5th round for Overtake.
Intra has just been a gun turret on this A-bomb site, whether it's long or the site itself. He has made sure that Club 333 have a bad time if they meet him. And, I mean, I guess my big question is, why haven't clubs tried B-bomb site a little bit more? Like, they've gone back and forth with it, but they've got the bomb down on there a couple of times, so you'd think that they've done so much probing toward that A-bomb site. They've made Overtake think that they're going to push it time and time again, and they haven't really used that mental warfare to get anything done on the other side of the map.
I also think that's partially because Club 333 have found success, whether it be towards mid or towards Catwalk, that draws Overtake back towards the A-bomb site to try and bolster the defenses, and then it's been late round pivots as we're seeing now. I mean, we're crossing 1 minute and 10 seconds left. There hasn't been any advancements to Catwalk, and a block smoke towards Cat as well is going to further dissuade them, but the interesting decision, at least in terms of Overtake, is that they're still continuing to bolster this A-bomb site when Club 333, for the time being, it feels like don't have any interest in actually prodding.
Well, they've got the smoke down for the mid to be. Oh, that Molotov feels a little bit mistimed. Maybe something to try and catch a rotator, but Jason speeding up fast through the double doors, catches Lear's seat. Good trade out of Jason. Got that AK in hand, but with 30 HP, the scout will be more than enough. Damage onto Cobra, but it's going to be a 2 versus 4 for Overtake. They've already found the one, but it's going to have to be Umar to finish this one out. The AWP deletes Morrow from the server. The AK recovered as well, so 1 versus 2. Both of these club players tucked away. Not too far, though. Cobra only by the tunnel's door. Only an opportunity for Umar. Looks for the first opportunity. There's nobody close at hand. Cobra deleted. And it's just Secret Agent left standing. The captain of Club 333. Umar just going to run him down and flatten his face. Defuse comes through, and Overtake turn this 1-6 to a 6-6.
Yeah, and this goes into how we were talking about map 3 is going to be a little bit of a coin flip, whether it be for Club 333 or for Overtake. But Overtake, I feel like throughout this series has slowly warmed up into whatever map we are on, whether that's Inferno, whether that's Mirage, and whether that's now Dust 2. But I feel like going into the T side of Dust 2, we need to see more out of the individuals. It's been all Intra, it's been all Umar, and clearly by the stat line, Learcy, Jason, and Sacrifice, which are players that you expect to show up to the server, haven't had much impact.
Well, I feel like we've seen the torch for the carry passed around a bit, so... But yeah, you're right. I'm really wondering when we're going to see some of the crazy flicks that we get to see sometimes from Umar. I mean, he is one of the 2 players on Overtake that has more than 10 kills. So,
I mean,
we'll have
at
to
the
see.
same time, you have to wonder. It feels like this Overtake lineup is a lineup that is trying to shoot for the stars, for lack of better words. And if Umar is having this level of inconsistency throughout just a series, and correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like we've seen this on multiple occasions, it has to start to become a question of whether or not he's either being positioned wrong, doesn't have the support to wield the AWP, or whatever the case may be. But the T side of Dust 2, definitely a little bit more enabling for that op.
He is definitely feast or famine. And, well, now the question is, Overtake, 1 pistol round in the series. This is the last one. Can they win at least 1 pistol round in a best of 3? Umar sends a flash the wrong direction. That rattles Overtake just a bit. Morrow more than happy to clip Sacrifice's head. I'm going to be planted, though. And Umar waiting, watching to see if he can catch these players on Cat. Smoke. First thing deployed. Dooley's on the other side of it. That's going to be scary. I'm on a P2K. There's got to be some instant headshots as clubs start to emerge from the smoke. A lot of spam to start things off. Clubs really sure of their timing on this one. 15 seconds remaining on the bomb, and Umar has already removed Mason's skull, but Morrow and Markey, the double M's of Club 333, will secure that pistol round. Pistol round number 6 for clubs.
Yeah. And it felt like that smoke towards Catwalk was a little bit, not late, but more so that Umar was indecisive as to whether or not he should actually deploy it, and it put him in a very tight position as to where he needs to either go for the fight or try and play it from a further back position. And with the dual Berettas in the hands for Club 333, it's not going to make that an easy task. Round 14, however, a force buy all the way from Overtake. Intra is just holding W down bottom mid and does have a timing, but whether or not he's able to capitalize becomes the next question. Markey has an M4A1S, but the dink goes out, and Markey is finished off by Jason. So it's interesting because Sacrifice has taken the space that his accomplice once maintained, but for the time being, Mason is on an island. Secret Agent has to offer up support. The flashbang rings through. Mason activates from the B-bomb site, and Secret Agent is just being a thorn in the side, forcing Overtake to maintain their attention back towards this mid-smoke. But while the diversion was happening, Sacrifice will connect the dots onto Secret Agent, and the B-bomb site secured. 40 seconds, now 35 on the bomb timer, but if you're in this position, it feels like both Morrow and Cobra have to go saving and cut their losses here.
Well, you want to talk about change of pace. That's actually the first time I think we've seen a T side that didn't win the pistol round force buy into the second. They got the plant, which did allow them enough money. And with 4 kills or 3 kills, they, I mean, coming into this with the force buy really threw clubs off their kilter. So Morrow, though, set up in a good spot here. Sacrifice finished off as he walks through mid. At the very least, it's going to be an extra little bit of money in the pockets of all of these CTs, but still, round victory for Overtake, and Jason going to make sure that that rifle does not make it into the following round.
And so as a result, Club 333 not going to have the best of finances to be able to pull off a buy. You can see them starting to scrape change from between the couch cushions, but all that's able to afford them is a Scout and MP9, upgraded pistols, and bits and pieces of utility across the board. Cobra, as aforementioned, does have a rifle that he's able to contest with here and now, but Overtake, cognizant of this situation, are going to try and press their range advantage out towards long. Flashes for Umar to go peeking, but still no further utility until the cross smoke is deployed. A counter flash from Secret Agent forces Overtake to pump the brakes, but how long this will actually last becomes the next question. I think that smoke might have been missed towards ramp. Ooh.
Well, that 5-7 certainly didn't. That is a magical dinner bell for clubs as they now look to prevent this site take. They might have just done so. Umar quickly traded out by Cobra, and the A site has been declared closed for business. There's a solid minute left, but look at where Mason's gotten himself to. He's on Cat as Overtake trying to sneak their way in through mid. They haven't put a smoke down for CT either, so this is a completely dangerous path for them. And against the pistols, there's still an M4 in the hands of Cobra. Secret Agent P250 just walks in, strafes, cuts off Sacrifice's head, and leaves Learcy now on 22 HP, trying to turn this round around. Won't be allowed as the no-scope from Markey will clean up the round.
Yeah, it's a round that Club 333 have absolutely no business pulling off, but the fact that they were able to isolate fights and even find that pick through the smoke with the 5-7 cemented the fact that they were able to have the man advantage into that mid-fight. And as soon as Overtake didn't have the numbers to actually compete, it felt like Club 333 were in a mindset of just try and overwhelm the rifles, and you didn't even need numbers. It was just the pistols that were doing all the damage, and now Overtake find themselves in a similar situation. Intra opens up round 16 with a kill on the Galil, and Sacrifice has an AK to try and supplement this push, but that Galil has been recycled back into Umar's hands. Only 8 HP to work with, but immediately off of the pressure, they let off the gas pedal. You can see that Jason has a position towards double doors, so he's heard one of the rotations happening back towards B. And we'll also hear the utility flying up towards Catwalk, but the next question becomes, will he expect Markey on this silent rotate? And will Overtake expect Mason to be this far up? And I think he was actually spotted, so the defensive smoke will be deployed. Mason able to chop away at Umar. Now Jason has to find some sort of path to activation here. He's kind of left on an island down bottom mid, and Club 333 have made the adjustments proper. Cobra tucked back into long, and has an opportunity similar to Mason to spoil the plans before they even get started, but Overtake are just following the gap they found. Jason going to be the real pathfinder for this roster. But now the difficult part becomes clearing out this bomb site and not overextending into a fight that you don't actually want to take. Because Cobra, tucked in towards long, has a smoke and a Molotov, full armor, and the defuse kit to work with. That bomb's going to be planted for Catwalk instead, and Cobra actually finds Jason asleep at the wheel. Markey is close by towards CT to offer a little bit of a distraction, but Lucy tucks the dome and will be able to capitalize on the attention split from Markey. Sacrifice still tucked towards backside, but Cobra is putting in work for his team. Sacrifice trying to play around the smoke, hops on the ledge, but he will be denied everything as Club 333 find 9.
I mean, you can see just how much both of these teams want to make it to finals. It would be a first for both of them. And, I mean, the massive bump in VRS, it would be extremely valuable no matter who picks it up. And I mean, the extra path at Glory as well. You get the chance to maybe deprive Regain of their third championship. So, I mean, you can see just how back and forth this whole game is. This round, though, will be Overtake on pistols. Not a comfortable spot to be. And a bitter pill to swallow.
A reaction from the mid-pressure that Overtake are applying is adjustments from Cobra and the Catwalk player, but Cobra is the only one to walk away with scalps until Sacrifice has something to say about it. Morrow activates from Catwalk. Mason puts the cherry on top, and Club 333 are the first to double digits here on Dust 2, our deciding map to see who makes it into the grand finals against Regain.
Well, and they'll have basically one chance to prevent looking for overtime. One opportunity with the rifles, and Umar is on a glass op, so this is an optimistic chance for Overtake. See if they can convert it. They have found the place where there's the least amount of defense, just the singular player is already backed away on long, but the nade cutting off half of Learcy's HP. Meanwhile, Jason falls to the op of Cobra.
Found through the smoke. Isolated fight from Morrow does result in a kill onto Intra. The support has arrived, however, and as Morrow doubles up, the refrags come in from Learcy and Umar. But in the blink of an eye, Umar is thrusted into this 1v3, and Club 333 are staring down the barrel of 11. AWP in hand, not the optimal tool for the job. But as Smashmouth once said, you don't have to be the sharpest tool in the shed. Umar peers through this smoke, not going to spot anyone towards car initially, so that gives him the confidence to continue this walk. But from the side of Club Triple Three, they've decided to play a little bit of a containment breach setup. Marky's going to be tucked close car. Given the isolated angle is Umar, but Umar has to connect the shot first, and the jiggles from Marky not going to help. Umar able to collect the first, now has to walk through the AWP of Cobra, but the jiggle peak does not help him. Not whatsoever in Club Triple Three. Only need 2 more to find themselves into the grand finals.
Yeah, and the buy for Overtake is going to be Desperation City. The loss bonus is fully stacked up, so they can pick up rifles if they want to go for it. But I almost wonder if maybe they want to save a little bit left in the tank to go for the AWP to try and stop Club 333 from securing that eventual W. And they do only buy the Galil on Jason and the Scout on Sacrifice, but that's going to send things disjointed for a potential round 20.
The interesting part of this round here comes the setup that Club Triple Three find themselves in. 3-man setup initially towards mid. Marky able to spam Jason away. Nintra going to be the one to try and trailblaze all the way up catwalk, but the footsteps are merely a facade for the rest of his team to maybe buy space into tunnels where the bomb awaits.
Yeah, I mean, Overtake, they've been just stopped at the gate on every side of the map. The cat player, you know, you think you're getting space, but Morrow just ready and waiting here to grind you to pieces. Umar bringing out the Scout now, but this 2 versus 5 feels far from any sort of success. And Learsy deleted as well. It's just an easy cleanup. Morrow put Umar out of his misery, as now Clubs knocking on the door of the grand finals of Crossfire Season 5.
Yeah, and you were exactly right with Overtake wanting to get that AWP into this final round of play, or potential final round of play. But as we have said time and time and again in this series, is Umar hasn't had the best of impact, hasn't had that AWP presence felt throughout the map, and Cobra is able to open up round 20 with a kill to his own name. Morrow is caught off guard, and the Molotov surely to take his life, but they both miss, and Jason is going to be the one to reap the benefits. Another smoke cross, or another smoke for the cross, and Learsy's going to continue this charge. Catwalk smoke to secure the entrance, but Cobra's been spotted on the jump up and is still able to connect the dots. Suddenly, Overtake find themselves in a 2v4, where Club Triple Three are swinging with confidence. Cobra finds one with the Tech 9, and Umar has the walls closed around him. It's Club Triple Three to find themselves into the grand finals of Crossfire Season 5 against Regain.
Well, that's, I mean, it's Dust 2. That's, you're going to be floating or sinking on the back of your Opper. And, I mean, that final round, everybody changed up the pace. Cobra into lower tons, the rest of Overtake going flying down long. They tried to go for something pacey or something different. They thought that the challenge meant that there would be less of a defense, but Clubs just said, nope, you're denied.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it becomes a question of where do Overtake find themselves after this matchup, because it felt like, on paper at least, Overtake should be the ones that are in the grand finals, but Club Triple Three, I mean, with the addition of Marky, which we had our own hesitations about coming into this matchup, really flourished, I think, under the bright lights, was able to slot in really well, and was what I think is the cherry on top to this Club Triple Three roster. I mean, we talked about how they both, or there's 2 subs for Club Triple Three. Overtake had the full lineup, but it felt like individuals throughout this series for Overtake were a little bit absent, whether that was Learsy, whether that was Umar at certain times, but Overtake are out of Crossfire Season 5, and I think that's something that no one could have expected coming into the grand finals.
Yeah, I mean, aside from Regain having the history of the team that's won 2 Crossfires already, the rest of the field, when we got to playoffs, has been a very wide open affair. Yeah. No Chicken Coop, no Zomblers, none of your usual ECL level teams. And so, I mean, at the surface, it looks like an open and shut case for Regain, but at the same time, Club 333 are looking pretty hot to trot. So I think that Regain definitely better be studying the demos, and what better way to study the demos than with scl.gg. CL, study your 2D demos, run dry runs on every map, get your strategy locked in, and dominate.
Yeah, and then to give another thank you to MyHUD, who is what we've been using throughout this best of 3 series. MyHUD is the perfect app, or perfect tool rather, for streamers, content creators, and fans alike. So whether or not you're trying to make content or just enjoy some Counter-Strike through the Connect IP, make sure to check out myhud.app and level up that content or stream if you decide to do so. But Floofies, for the here and now, we now have our 2 teams locked in for the grand finals. That's going to be Regain and Club 333, which I believe takes place sometime this weekend, next week. But still, it's an amazing matchup that I have a lot of excitement for.
Yeah, I mean, we get to come back and see if Regain get to continue their streak on Crossfire. We get to see if we have a brand new challenger coming into fight. And I mean, even going into the 3rd and 4th place, like Raised by Pixels are going to be facing down Overtake later on as well. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think it's W's all the way around. And again, we couldn't have done it without you, without all of you out there at home hitting the follow button, hanging out in chat, and joining us on this adventure. So 5 seasons in, thank you from all of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you to everyone watching at home. Thank you to everyone behind the scenes that helps put on this tournament, including SCL, including MyHUD, including all of the great production staff. But Floofies, for the here and now, we are going to say goodbye, but not for the final time in Crossfire Season 5. We have our grand finals matchup, but we will see you then.
This live stream is sponsored by SCL, an all-in-one CS2 training platform with a practice server, 2D viewer, and unique training modes like Defense Mode. Defend sites against bot executes that get harder every round. And Trade Fire, a pre-fire mode where enemies actually try to trade you. You can run every mode in co-op and track your progress and stats across all your training. Plus, you get an advanced 2D demo viewer. Use code Crossfire40 for 40% off your first month. That's under $3.